Friday, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are live. It is CrowdStrike's CRWD, ticker symbol CRWD. We have earnings today. We have a little bit to go over about the debacle back in July. We have a little bit to go over about the overall S&P 500 and where the money is rolling. But you don't want to listen to me twice, do you? So okay, let everybody pile on in, say hello. My name is Dave Worrell. This is the first time here. We're starting to do a lot more earnings. Earnings is a beautiful thing. There's a lot we can learn from it, with a lot we can learn from the company. Let me throw my mic on here for you. And if you guys stay focused and attentive to these earnings, you watch them, it's where the most volatility is at. We get a good price movement on these earnings and they run into support or resistance, there can be a play there. I usually don't play before earnings unless it's something I have been holding on to for quite some time. So when we watch CrowdStrike and we watch their earnings, just remember, I am not holding a position. I haven't held a position, but we do have a vast amount of knowledge about CrowdStrike. Something I do want to take you back is back in July when they had that big issue that they had. What was it? Let me look here. I got this out, the software update. That's right. You know, I wanted to do like a parody on the software update because when they came out with that software update, that's this huge dip that you see here because that software update interrupted a lot of things. And we're going to go over that too in just a minute. But one thing that I do want to note is that is in 1 hour, folks. 1 hour. You can see that's what this timer is here, right here. The earnings will come out. You're going to see a lot of volatility, especially because you can see here it's just extended slightly from its 10-day, or at least we can say it's been following this 10-day moving average for quite some time. So we are hoping, or at least the investors are hoping, that CrowdStrike not just beats their expectations, but has a double beat on their future rewards for their investors. So we're going to see what happens there. We also have a vote on the poll. If you guys haven't voted yet, go ahead and take a little peeky gander. The question is very obvious. Will CrowdStrike be above or below its closing price? 50% so far say green. We're going to head above. So we'll see very, very soon what happens with that. So make sure that you click on that. Some of the things that we are going to be going, or what they'll be going over, is obviously the numbers. They're going to go over the numbers, why they were either positive or less. And when the numbers do come out at 4 o'clock, I will have the news up here and ready for us. So right when it's out, I will print it and I will put it on the scrolly screen right at the top. So that way there is no confusion and you can see all the numbers right here first. So make sure you stay keen to that. The overall S&P 500 today, if we take a little peeky gander at that, you can see we are very close to new all-time highs once again. We are extended from a 10-day moving average, but this has been an absolute beautiful push since we've called risk on where this green line is. We were very close to being risk off here, but it never closed below a 21-day moving average as it continued to head higher. Now that we are close to those near all-time highs once again, the S&P 500 is looking very good, as to where if we look at the overall tech industry, you can see it's lagging so slightly behind, but it's still in a very, very good place. When we look at CRWD, this is a software. We can look a little bit more deeper into it if we use this TradingView software, which, by the way, if you guys would like to use this TradingView software, if you click my link, you'll get an extra month free and a couple bucks off there. So use my link in the link tree down below, click the more button, and you can get this beautiful charting program. And your first month is on moi. And I think you get a month on them too, so you get like 2 months free almost. And there's a Black Friday deal going on too, so I don't even think I get a kickback from that. So check that out too, guys. Anyway, you guys can save money, but if you wanna give me a little kickback, use my link. Regardless, we have 58 minutes till CrowdStrike actually comes on and tells us the numbers. But in the meantime, let's take a little look into CrowdStrike. You can see here, after this huge sell-off from that July 17th news of the software update from CyberFirm, caused one of the world's biggest IT blackouts. When you cause an IT blackout, when you cause one of the biggest IT blackouts, this is what is going to happen, right? You don't disrupt the healthcare of America and America's fast food at the same damn time and expect to be lingering up here at these all-time highs, right? So not to mention we were right at a psychological $400 area too, which is also going to help considerably when people are psychological traders. You know, lots of sell orders at 400. So regardless, when you cause the biggest IT blackout in U.S. history, your stock's going to go down. Now, did they get it fixed? Everything was back up and running by the end of the day, if I remember correctly, but they did take a big hit. This was big and scary, and it looks like they've almost fully recovered already, which is absolutely amazing to see. I mean, when you see something like this, you really had to hold your breath and buy. The issue is where, so if we look on the Thinkorswim and we look at CRWD, you're gonna see down here there wasn't like a ton of volume coming in to kind of show you that this is where it was going to stop, right? We see a huge volume bar, but we don't see, we see a huge price bar, but we don't see a huge volume bar to kind of like interrupt this to say, hey, this is the bottom. So it was kind of a hard take, but when it started to make new higher lows, it started to get interesting. But you guys know me, I don't play anything until it's above a 200-day moving average, and it still held its up course in its 200-day moving average, which is nice. It never really brought it down, but nice and easy, right back above it, and now still creating new higher lows. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 new higher lows. Will this continue higher? It'd be very interesting to see after CrowdStrike earnings comes out very, very soon. We have about 56 minutes left to go, guys. There was plenty going on out there. One of my biggest head scratchers and this is one of the very first times in my career have I seen the overall S&P 500 heading higher without the overall tech to help bring it up. So tech drugged this market up, tech held this market up, and now tech is starting to fall back down while the overall S&P 500 continues to go higher. So when I see these things, while we were waiting on CrowdStrike, of course, when I see these things, I start to ask myself, where is the money going? So that's why I like to use some of the tools that we have, which I always tell you guys, if you're using any kind of tools, you can pretty much find them all for free, unless you're looking for some type of like up-to-date data for, something that has to do with sifting through paperwork and getting data like that, but most all of it you can find for free if you dig hard enough. And this is super simple. This is a super free one. The select spider, it's called Sector Spiders or Sector PDRS.com. You just scroll down here and you click on today's performance. You can view full sector. And then today you can see where's the money been going? Right back into utilities, guys. Okay. And utilities usually continues higher when the Feds start cutting rates. And obviously, if you guys, unless you've been stuck under a rock or you don't follow me, the Fed's been cutting rates for quite some time. So as they cut rates, the utilities continue to go higher. And today, utilities definitely went higher. We also can do something like this on TraderView where I have all the biggest sectors and sector ETFs, and I can just do percentage change here. And we can see here XLU is one of the number one the number one today, as a lot of people have been trading this, and it's been heading higher, closer towards now that $83 area. We pointed this out a long time ago. You can see back in April, we pointed out the 3 new higher lows, 1, 2, 3, a trend break, and we seen utilities start to head higher. That was also in correlation with the Fed. They came out and they said that they were going to be cutting rates soon, and then utilities ended up starting to head much higher. So we'll see very, very soon if utilities is going to continue to head higher or if we're going to see resistance here. The issue with utilities, unless you're obviously just playing the sector in general, is that it is not the fastest sector. Well, I shouldn't say the fastest sector, but what I should say is it does not have a lot of smaller cap stocks in that sector. So when it does actually take off, it's hard to find those very, very volatile stocks. Okay. All right. Let's take a peeky gander at a few other things here. Wet my whistle. Yeah, so XLU, XBI today, which is industrials, I do believe. Gotta get rid of this here. Actually, this is biotech. Oh, okay. So XBI is trying to hold up. I have to put these moving averages back on here really quick. Right back into its 50-day moving average. It's just been trading sideways for so long. They were doing so well. And there was a lot of biotechs that a lot of people don't like trading those biotechs, but a lot of people are trading those biotechs. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen there. Alrighty, CrowdStrike. 52 minutes left to go. 52 minutes left to go, and then we're gonna have the numbers swinging on in. Let me get that swing report for CrowdStrike. I think we need to play a little lo-fi. Let's get a little bit of music rolling into this bad baby. We'll have ourselves a good time today. I played a few stocks today, nothing too well. This is the only thing I was actually thinking, you know, biosectors or biostocks aren't doing so well, so find something to short here, and this thing has just had a hard time at this $19 area, so just had to take a small short on this, but didn't seem to move down. You can see this yellow line where I got in. I'm just risking to the top of this. Very small amount here, about $100, and we're gonna see if it wants to head lower. If not, by the end of the day and it doesn't give me any wiggle room over the night, I'm gonna have to cut the position, so we'll see. You wanna see my biggest hurt? I'll show you my biggest hurt. Let's go to Netgear here. So if you guys look at Netgear, I actually took this trend base breakout, and if you guys don't know me, I love trend breakouts. One of my favorite ones most recently was Netflix. So if we go to Netflix, we go here, you guys can see right here, all the way down here, yes sir, Bob, this green line's where I entered. A beautiful, beautiful trend break. It doesn't get any clearer than that. Thanks to Dan, Bob Dan, the greatest moderator alive, pointed that one out to me. I ended up capitalizing on it pretty well, taking out half here and the rest right here. Earned myself a nice set, I think 36%, I don't remember. But if I would have followed my rules properly, I should still be in this until the close below a 10-day moving average, but that's okay, you can't play everything perfect. But my Netgear, this is the one that hurt me the most, so I tried to play the same trend break. That's part of my strategy, it's what I do love, and I played it a little too early. You can see this fake breakout here, or we can't even really call it a fake breakout because it didn't really break down. So, you know, it broke out, it came back, it retested that same area, and it stopped me out. I moved my stop up just underneath this, which either way it would have stopped me out, even coming down to here, breaking below that. And then, you know, the next morning we're right back up to where we were, and you know, I'd be up. And this one I really liked, and look, it's working out, it's doing what it's supposed to do. Hey, and that's what happens, guys. You know, that's what happens sometimes. You know, I wasn't patient and I didn't get back into it because it hurt me the first time, but it's working out. This is absolutely beautiful, but I love these trend breaks. This is what I teach. This is what I love to do. This is what I feel comfortable with doing. And of course, guys, you know, I always preach a process. If you don't have a process, then you don't know how to trade. You're gambling, right? So you need to have a process. And what do I mean by process? You need to have, you know, buy and sell rules, and you need to have an understanding of the overall market. And if you don't, it's okay, you know? And if you think that you do, well, go back to the books, because every time I think that I do, I get smacked in the nose, right? Every time you make $4,000 or $5,000, you get smacked in the nose, and it gets, you know, brings you back to reality that you're not the best trader out there. You always need to learn. You always need to stay attentive and follow your process. It always comes back to the process too, guys, so definitely keep that in mind. We also have, nobody's thinking now CrowdStrike's gonna be red, huh? I see we only got 3 votes. We got plenty of time for this, but put the votes in there, guys. Put the votes in there. I'm really curious. Are we gonna be green, red, break even? Or are you just here for the coffee? I'm actually drinking a lemonade right now, but we just finished up a couple shots of coffee before I hopped on here, so I'm feeling amped up, baby. We got 49 minutes, and CrowdStrike is gonna be doing its thing very soon. We just got stopped out of TVTX, so that's A-okay, just as we talked about. Those biotech, the biotech stocks look like they are doing very well today, and TVTX looked like it was going to cap out there, and obviously not. It broke through, and it looks like it might want to head higher. This might be a great area to buy, but I'm not seeing volume come into this, so not buy or sell, not a buy or sell, well, you know what I'm saying. These aren't buy or sell rules here. These aren't me telling you. This is another thing that we played right here this morning, and now it's starting to look good because we got these new higher lows, these new lower highs. If it actually gets tight somewhere in this area, it might actually be a decent stock to try and play. You can see right here what I'm talking about. It's setting up pretty nice, even with this false breakdown here. This thing might actually do some work right here in Power Hour, so that'll be very interesting. And if you guys are interested in small cap stocks, this is a smaller cap stock, but this thing really got some news this morning. I think it was like $250 million it was just released to it awarded, and I really like these trend breaks. I tried to play it here, but it broke down. I played an opening range break this morning. It broke down, so lost about $300 on that trade. No big deal. Having to reduce my risk now. If I decide to get back into this, I won't be able to risk $300, but 150 would be more appropriate now, being my second entry for this, but we'll see. Because we're not seeing a lot of volume come in here, but if we do, that might be a play. But today is the day for CRWD. CrowdStrike in 47 minutes as it wicked off this bottom pattern here. What up, B Stewie? Good to see you. Squad, he says. Squad, baby, squad dilly. I needed to get better soon, B Stewie, so we can do our thing, man, and come out there. We can go flolic in the rubbish. Only kidding though, but we can flolic. I'm not kidding about the flolicking part. But anyway, guys, do me a favor. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button if we are doing anything for you. We are here today for CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike Holdings. If you guys remember back in July, I want to read this, and I'll probably read it again very, very soon, but how a software update from cyber firm CrowdStrike caused one of the world's biggest IT blackouts. I found this to be really, really interesting, and you guys need to remember that's when this big sell-off was here, okay? So I just want to remember this because this is now almost back to break even from that area. So we're talking about 4 months, almost 5 months now, almost 5 months. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 4.5, almost 5 months since this issue happened, and we're almost back up to break even. So let's just see this. A fault with an update issue by cybersecurity company CrowdStrike led to a cascade effect among global IT systems on Friday, with industries ranging from banking to airlines facing outages. Bank and healthcare providers saw their service disrupted, and TV broadcasters went offline as business worldwide grappled with the ongoing outage. Air travel has been hit hard too, with planes grounded and services delayed. At the heart of the issue is Texas-based security vendor CrowdStrike. On Friday, the security firm experienced major disruption following an issue with its software update. So what happened exactly? Let me wet my whistle. I had so many things too when they had this update. I'm like, you know, could you imagine being the guy like, okay, it's a Friday, it's time to update before I go home. You know, and he presses a button and like hospitals and airlines are shutting down and people can't get their fast food. Oh man. CrowdStrike is a cybersecurity vendor that develops software to help companies detect and block hacks. It's used by many of the world's Fortune 500 companies, including major global banks, healthcare, and energy companies. CrowdStrike is what is known as an endpoint security firm, as it uses cloud technology to apply cyber protections to devices that are connected to the internet. This differs from the alternate approach using the other cyber firms, which involves applying protection directly to back-end server systems. So that's the difference between CrowdStrike, is it approaches applying protection directly to, okay, so CrowdStrike is known as an endpoint security, a firm, a cloud technology to apply cyber protections to a device, okay? So they're just applying it. Many companies use their software and install it on their machines across their organizations. Nick France, Chief Technology Officer, IT firm sector, told CNBC Squawk Box Europe on Friday. So when an update happens that has problems with it, it causes the problem where the machines reboot and people can't get back into their computers. What happened on Friday? People around the world began encountering an error screen known as the blue screen of death. Now, if you guys are with me, like back in the 90s, we had a blue screen of death too. Our blue screen of death, it was real simple. It was just, you got a blue screen, white lettering on it. It said something about, you know, your PC may have had some issues with it. You know, try and reboot your computer and see if it, you know, still has. So that, you know, I think they had something maybe similar. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, we had the blue screen of death back in the 90s. We had a few other ones that took over. The Trojan virus, blue screen of death. The Xbox was Red Ring of Fire. I don't know if you guys are with me on that, but anyway, The blue screen of death, this issue, a common problem among PCs, for example, if a machine overheats, was the result of an update from CrowdStrike concerning its Falcon product. Falcon is a platform developed by the company that is designed to stop cyber breaches using cloud technology. It is at the heart of the firm's focus on endpoint. CrowdStrike said Friday it is the process of rolling back the update globally. CrowdStrike software reduces deep access to a computer's operating system to scan for threats. In the case of Friday's outages, machines running Microsoft Windows operating system crash due to a fault in a way a software update issue by CrowdStrike interacts with Windows. So if you had Windows and it was a CrowdStrike cloud-based applied cybersecurity system on your Microsoft device, that would not compute together. That was the actual issue, and that's why you ended up getting the blue screen of death. So that was very, very interesting. Yeah, but I mean, wow, it affected a lot. I'm trying to get to the part where they talk about exactly. That I don't think they kind of just categorize it as, you know, airplanes and systems like that. But I was hoping to see, you know, like how far was their reach? How far was their reach? But I know it was pretty big, and you can obviously see this thing headed down much further, much faster than a lot of us anticipated, you know. So it's something else. Yeah. So CrowdStrike here, we're just, I mean, if you look at it on the daily time frame, you can see this huge uptrend, right? You don't even need any moving averages. You don't need anything. You can ask a child, they'll tell you the stock is going up, right? So you can see that news, everything that happened, there was no real issue from it except for that 1 day issue, right? They learned from it. They're going to capitalize on it. Well, look, everybody agrees, you know, they continue to sell off. There was still a lot of fear in that, right? And if you guys remember right here, I was very, very bullish on CrowdStrike because it was creating this high tight flag. Hey, let me just show you this. Right before the sell-off, I was talking to you guys about this. I said, if it breaks out here on volume, and it never broke out on volume. Matter of fact, we weren't seeing much volume at all. And it headed lower and then broke this area here. We even said after it broke this area here that it looks more like a short because it's breaking down or a big drip. But nobody would have thought, and I mean, if you were short, congratulations, but you had no idea they were going to have a faulty update unless you were the guy updating it himself. If you're an insider like that, you need to join this Discord. It's free, and we would like to be your friend. You know, we want some insider information. If I had some, I promise you, we'd all be making a little extra money because I wouldn't be able to keep my mouth shut. I'm a jaw jockey, you know. I like to talk. No, I can keep a secret, but when it comes to family and friends, man, we gotta share. We gotta spread the love. We gotta spread the love, baby. But yeah, it's feeling good. I'm feeling good. I hope you guys are feeling good too. We got 39 minutes till CrowdStrike starts popping off at the mouth with something that shouldn't have said, like a great philosopher once said, actually. His name was Marshall Mathers. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that gentleman. Great philosopher from Detroit. Not too far from that. I'm about 45 minutes away from probably one of the greatest philosophers alive, Mr. Marshall Mathers himself. What's going on, guys? My name is Dave. If you're just joining us, thank you so much. CrowdStrike earnings are starting in 39 minutes. If you got something that you want to go over until then, we can. We read the CrowdStrike story about what happened in July. If you guys remember, in July, huge sell-off, and that's what we just went over about the CrowdStrike firm's update that they had, and what a huge story that was. I mean, there are so many skits. There's so many skits you could go over, you know, like you're going to get food and you just see the big blue screen of death, you know, there's so many skits. The guy updating, he presses the button, and then the whole, I don't know, I'm just thinking like an editor, you know, just thinking like an editor. Excuse my voice, excuse the cough, guys. You got to understand, whew, it's been a rough one with pneumonia. Pneumonia takes you down and it doesn't want you to talk. And when you're a public speaker, you got to keep on talking. The question for you folks today was, will CrowdStrike be above or below its closing price? That's the question. Will it be above or below the closing price? Right now, 43% of you are saying that we will be green, that we will be heading higher. 14% of you, 14%, not 14, but 14% of you say red, that we will be heading lower. 29% of you say you're just here for the coffee. Well, I hope you brought coffee because I just drank about 2 shots before I got in the air. And now I'm all out. So no creamer though, no creamer in that coffee. 14% of you say break even, and I always like to put break even on there because I'm telling you guys, whoever called the NVIDIA break even, if you guys were with me 2 or 3 days ago when NVIDIA had their earnings, there was quite a few people that were voting break even on that, and we ended up break even on NVIDIA by the end of the closing, before market open bell. I thought that was absolutely hilarious, because the odds of that are very low, right? When you get a lot of volatility in there, odds that the overall market has perfectly priced in where they think that earnings should be expected is pretty low, right? There's always some kind of surprise, whether it's to the up or to the down. But it'll be very interesting to see what happens with CrowdStrike and all the other earnings that we're going to be doing from here on out. So if you can get behind earnings, if you like earnings, do me a favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, guys. And it should be coming out in about 37 minutes. It's going to be here before you know it. I gotta wet that whistle, baby. Yeah, the last stream that we did was actually, wow, it was something else. So NVIDIA's numbers did really good, guys. We had over 1,000 views. And at one point, I think we had like 59 people in here. And that's good numbers. That's really good numbers, guys. You know, that's we keep those numbers up, and we get those from time to time. YouTube keeps pushing us out. We're gonna keep on keeping on. You know, we're gonna keep on rocking. We've been here for quite some time. We've been doing it. I think YouTube's starting to push us out. And you know, I want nothing more to have a show. We want a show. That's exactly why we're here, and that's why you guys are here supporting me. I appreciate you guys being here, especially my day ones. B Stewie's been here since day one, which is crazy because I love seeing your success now. You know, just with the simple rules and us learning together as we grow, and seeing you really capitalize, getting 25 R on a trade. That is absolutely phenomenal, dude. I absolutely love to see that, man. You just keep kicking ass and taking names, brother, and keep updating us. That's what I love about our Discord. Our community is so it's so tight, you know, and a lot of us are older people. We have kids and stuff like that, so we know that it's hard to trade, it's hard to do all this stuff, and we share our little success stories. You know, we got a couple of young guys in there too, and they're sharing their success stories, and we're just thinking, you know, we want to live through them, you know. So it's it's nice seeing a lot of the younger guys come in there because they learn so much so quick, and as long as they're disciplined, like the few that are in our Discord are, you'll find that they are going to be the ones that grow the fastest. Just like in jiu-jitsu, the wrestlers that come in that already have their base, they already understand, you know, to keep their head up and their arms wide and their hands up, you know, those guys are going to learn quick. The newer guys, the younger guys that are coming into this, and they're learning from their older counterparts, and they're ingesting all that information, and they aren't just throwing their money around and not being disciplined. Those guys are going to be the ones that grow the fastest. Erica K, what's going on? It's good to see you. It's good to see you, hon. Yeah, baby, let's do this. I'm pumped. CrowdStrike should be pretty volatile. I think a lot of eyes are on this. The last time that we had earnings was back here August 28th. Excuse me. Yeah, August 28th, all the way back here. And it moved the needle a little bit. You can see just a couple days after earnings, after this thing settled down, we moved the needle a little bit to the north side, clearing those highs and pulling back. But this constant uptrend, I really could see on a technical standpoint. I'm not saying that this is going to happen, but I could really see a pullback from this area all the way down to land and find some support again on this uptrend line. You know, I could see that, but I might have a biasy just because on all the software and technology, everything that I've been seeing lately has pulled back. And when I say that, you know, and I know they're not completely related, but like NVIDIA's having a pullback. We can look at, you know, Meta's having a pullback. The overall S&P 500 is heading higher, but that's because of things like XLU, utilities. What was the other one? XL. Ooh, hang on. Let me bring up CrowdStrike again. Let's bring this up here. Oh, that's right, XLY and XLK. So consumer discretionary is doing very well, which tells you something about the overall market. If consumer discretionary is doing well, the overall market's doing well. If utilities is doing well, we're obviously cutting rates. That's exactly what we're doing. Things are looking really good. And then XLK, the technology area, I have been seeing a lot coming down. But what's amazing about XLK is it's still forming this beautiful, and this almost looks like NVIDIA in a sense, but this beautiful area, this pattern here, and if it can break out higher from this 238. Technology is still going to be a win in my book, but if it starts to break down from here, you can see me change the key really quick. So I've been seeing a lot of pullback in the overall market, and a lot of times when I see pullback in NVIDIA, in a lot of like the Metas, the Mag 7 stocks, I usually see correlation and a pullback with the S&P 500 because they're so heavily weighted. You know, if we look at the stock heat map, you guys can see right here, it's so heavily weighted. So what's dragging this up? Amazon, which is consumer discretionary, right? Retail trade, I think it's under consumer discretionary as well. But you can see here, Microsoft and Google also did a number today, and LLY, health technology, which is an interesting concept because XLV has been so well beaten down for quite some time. Let's take a look at XLV. So you can see this big V-shaped bottom now. It's starting to push up off of these bottoms. You can see healthcare had a big hit here, so this just might be alleviating it a little bit, but LLY is definitely a big mover in this overall market. So you can see it looks a lot like XLV, which is the sector leader, right? So when we look at a lot of these things pulling back, we definitely, when we're looking at CRWD, we want to look at this and we say, what sector is this? Technology, service, and package software. So if we're looking at technology service and we're asking ourselves, is this in a hot sector? And we look at technology, which the sector is XLK, or a lot of people like to use QQQ. The question is, does this look healthy? And I would say we're above a rising 50-day moving average on an overall sector outlook. As long as we're above a 50 rising moving average, I'm very happy. I'm very, very happy with this. Bisui says, gotta thank Dave for putting these videos out in the trading school. It works. Gotta have patience and the will to learn. Brother, I do appreciate that. And just above that, Dan the greatest miner alive, has posted our Discord link. You guys are more than welcome to join that. It's absolutely free. The only thing I require from you guys, if you're going to join that Discord, is make sure you go through the swing trading school. Make sure you have an open mind and a golden heart. We are all lovers in here. We're not fighters. We're willing to learn from each other. We're willing to learn from you as well. Even if you're a new trader, we have an open mind and a golden heart. But if you don't, and you're one of those cancers, you're going to be out of there really quick. We're a tight niche group. We want you to be a part of this though, guys. We want you to learn, and we're willing to regurgitate all the information that we've learned from some of the greatest traders out there, like William O'Neill, like Christian Quilamagi, like Dan Zanger, many, many more, Oliver Kell. I mean, I could go on and on, but guys, that's not what it's about. Andre Waite says, what's good to swing? And is that what you do most in snipe trade? Okay. What's good to swing? Well, what I always like to say, Andre, is figure out what sectors you're looking at first. And that's actually what we're doing right now. So CrowdStrike's earnings is coming out in about 30 minutes. So that's what we're here for. And we're kind of looking into this to see if this is in a good sector. So you stick around, you keep on watching these, and you're going to know what's good to swing on your own. We're going to teach you to be a very highly efficient and understanding trader. So learn some process. So what's good to swing? I'll tell you what. Let's go over that in just a minute. So XLK technology, this is the sector. This is the sector we were talking about, and this is the sector that CrowdStrike is in. It looks like it's on a beautiful uptrend, guys, beautiful uptrend. So is CrowdStrike a good stock to be in? Well, you can clearly see if you were in this, your P&L is doing well. Is it good to be in it right now, right before earnings? I disagree with that unless you have a wild cushion from the last earnings, right? From August. Okay, so if you are in it to win it, baby, I'm rooting for you. I really am. If you're trying to buy this before earnings, it's a gamble. You don't know which way it's going to go, neither do I, but I do understand now that it is in a hot sector. It's doing well for itself, okay? Technology, when I look at technology today, it's very odd to me because we're getting a big pullback in a lot of the sectors, you know, and my main one is NVIDIA. We've been pulling back now very hard since we broke above 150, that fake breakout. Now we're pulling back. We're riding a 50-day moving average here. Is it going to be able to hold this area? That's the real question here. That is the real question here. Will NVIDIA be able to hold this area and continue higher with this overall uptrend, just like we have drawn out here? I would say we have a very likely chance to at least go back up and retest that 150 area. Now, we are here for CrowdStrike, and remember, I am already signed up for the webcast. If you guys look at my screen right here, I have signed up for the webcast for you. That's that is exactly why that is exactly why I do this, guys. So you don't have to do any of the work. All you have to do, come to all you have to do is hit that subscribe button. That way you see my name pop up each and every time, guys, and then you will be alerted so you can be a part of this. It makes it so simple. And we're going to do CrowdStrike. We'll do a lot of other earnings very, very soon. But for now, you guys have to understand, within 27 minutes, they're going to be dropping their numbers, and it is going to get crazy. You're going to see a lot of volatility pop into this, definitely. Let's see what else we got going on, guys. Oh, yeah. All right, things are looking good. Things are looking really good. All right, let me know what you guys are watching, or if there's any earnings that you guys want me to do in the near future, let me know. But right now, today, all eyes are on CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike, absolutely. I mean, anytime I think of CrowdStrike, though, I just think of the mayhem in July. I think about the mayhem in July. It was crazy. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, if you didn't know who CrowdStrike was, you knew after Thursday, or after that Friday, you know, after the weekend, you know, everything was, it was crazy. They said after the issue had been fixed, Microsoft said cloud services had been restored after an outage that affected its Azure service and Microsoft 365 suite of apps in the central US region. A company spokesperson said are two different non-related issues. One issue relates to Azure and the other linked to CrowdStrike. They added that the anticipation a resolution is forthcoming in respect to the CrowdStrike problem. He said that it's not a security incident or a cyber attack. So I think that's really what saved their ass since July, was that it really wasn't a cyber attack. I think that was the biggest fear that everybody was really having, that, you know, they were trying to cover up a bigger issue, that there was this, you know, a data breach. You know, I think a lot of people were like waiting for like 3 or 4 days later, because then they were going to come out with information that because of the update issue, there was some data leak through Microsoft, and it was, you know, there could have been a cascade. There could have been a cascade. So it's really good that, you know, they started to release that information, that it wasn't, you know, it was not a security breach, blah, blah, blah. But regardless, you know, now that that news is starting to pass, you could clearly see after that happened, I mean, they sold off, even, you know, after the news, they sold off another 28%. But from its original highs, we're talking, let's see, so 397.63. They sold all the way off to 202, guys. Holy cow, that's a 50%, almost a 50% sell-off, and now it's all the way back up there towards those highs. So if you had the kahunas, the coconuts, you had all them between the legs, you bought, congratulations to you. And I hope if you're in the chat, let me know what price you got. I don't mind. I'll root for you. I'm here for you, baby. So let me know. Let me know. Are you holding CrowdStrike? I'm sure I have some CrowdStrike in my long-term portfolio. Right, in the long-term portfolio, I'm sure, which, speaking of which, I would like to check my long-term portfolio since we're near all-time highs. Once again, let's take a little peeky gander. I'm not going to share you the numbers, but, you know, I'll give you a thumbs up if I'm happy with it. And this Wednesday, guys, this Wednesday, which I think is tomorrow, isn't it? This Wednesday, we are going to be going over the long-term aspect of the S&P 500, like what we want to do in the long term. So we're talking about the long-term investment strategy that I use. Not that you have to use, but at least you have an understanding of how and why I use it. And if you guys would like to go over it, I'll just give you a little peeky gander. If you look at the S&P 500 right here, I didn't really start making these annotations till just recently, but I've been doing the same risk on, risk off ideologies all the way from back here, okay? From our recession that we had, our 2021 recession that we had. And then in 2022, I have been risk on for quite some time, except for this little pullback here. But all through here, I just use the 21-day moving average, and we can go deeper into it on Wednesday. But yeah, we have, we need to understand, even though we are day and swing traders, primarily momentum, breakout traders, whatever you want to call yourself or consider yourself, it's always nice to have a piece for the long run, because the overall market in the past 100 years has been a nice thing to be a part of, guys. Why? Because the market continues to head higher. It almost looks like this COVID is behind us. I mean, look how decimal it looks back here, guys. I mean, it's just absolutely awesome that, you know, we've seen all this happen here, you know, back here in 2019, and we're all the way back up here at 600.
You know, if you would have told me when I first started trading that where the market was going to be at, you know, and you could have gotten me to believe, I would have put everything I had and taken equity loan out of my house and put it all on it, right? So why don't we do that now? I mean, it never seems like the right time to do it. So that's why we like to do what's called dollar cost averaging into things like this. And we're going to be going over that on Wednesday. But today is CrowdStrike. And in 22 minutes, CrowdStrike's going to be coming out with numbers, and we're going to see what those numbers are. And I'm going to post them right up top just for you. I got a new nice little scrolly thing now. It's going to make it a little easier on for me, so I don't have to repeat the same things over and over again. We're upgrading. I hope you guys like it. We're doing a little better each and every day. We got a timer. We got the scrolly thing at the top, and we got our haircut, all of them, on the beard, on the mustache, and the ones on the top too. So no getting yelled at from Dan, Bob, Dan, the greatest moderator alive, making sure I get a haircut before I stream. Love it. All right, we're gonna zoom in on CrowdStrike now, since we're getting close to time. We'll always go back and refer. We always want to remember where this green line is, because this green line refers to where that the biggest area of resistance is going to be, right? Why that green line? Let's put this on the hourly. I can just show you guys that green line. Excuse me, let me bring this out on the daily so you guys can see. Just remember, this green line represents, actually, we can just pull this up right here. And I'm going to delete this. And what I'll do for you guys is I'll just do a reference of where the biggest area of resistance is, and it's going to be right here. So that way, when we blow this up and we have an understanding when we zoom out, if it ever gets up into this gray area, this gray matter, if you will, we're going to understand that this is going to be the area where we're going to start seeing a lot of resistance, okay? Because that's where a lot of the people that were holding originally are sitting at. So I'll give you a quick little lesson. If we look back here on the daily, we always look to the left. This is the daily time frame here. You can see all of these people are stuck in here. All this trading, they just got stuck. This thing just sold off without them. So if they held on for this long and it gets back up into this area, we might see some selling here close to all-time highs, okay? It's not too out of the ordinary to see that happening. So if CrowdStrike does come out with some double beat numbers or something that really gets the Wall Street going, which won't be a surprise because we've been obviously heading higher, but if it does, this gray area up here is going to be the area of resistance. We are going to expect at least to see some pullback in that area. Hell yeah, B2B says, I'll definitely be there tomorrow. I need a long-term plan. Absolutely. And you know, the greatest thing about a long-term plan and then swing trading is you see all the stress that you get from swing trading, right? Especially if you trade kind of like I do, where you get in a little heavy, right? Because you want to see those big returns. And you give yourself that stress, because the issue with it is you're so focused on such a small amount of time, when in reality, if you really want to just step back and look at the overall S&P 500, it doesn't matter if you lose money. If you lose money, you can comfortably continue to buy more, you know? So that's why long-term investing sometimes can be easier, less stressful, and can make you more money in certain situations. But of course, this depends on how you want to trade and who you are as a trader. So we have a lot to go over tomorrow. And yeah, Beastie, I'm pumped that you're going to be there tomorrow for the Discord meeting. And if you guys want to join, just click on the Discord link in the chat. Dan, Bob, Dan, the greatest moderator alive, have posted that. Jimmy Bright is in the building. Now it is a party. We got 19 minutes left to go. CrowdStrike's going to drop some numbers, and then we are going to be on the phone in the conference call. I'm going to let the CrowdStrike CEOs take over. I'm going to say, you know what? I allow you to take over my beautiful show and use your sweet angel voices to bless us with the future of CrowdStrike's earnings. We're gonna go ahead and blow up this 5-minute time frame right here. We're gonna see what we got going on, and you can see here, guys, huge wicks off the bottom. You guys know there's nothing more I like than 5-minute wicks other than hourly wicks. I love to see a nice hourly wick down here. But this is the 5-minute time frame. We can even throw this on the 1 minute since we're having some fun with it. See how she looks. Now we're gonna throw it on the 5 minutes. We can see a bigger area. I almost want to smush this down so we can see the gray matter up top. Either way, this is what we got, guys. This is CrowdStrike right now. Big sell-off yesterday. Right now, just trading sideways, wicking off the bottom. In about 18 more minutes, you're gonna see earnings is gonna come whipping out of here, guys. going to come whipping out, and it's going to be a good time. I can promise you that. Let me bring these charts back up, and we'll throw the news on down here, so that way we are first to see CrowdStrike's numbers when they come in. We can even read, let's see. Analysts expect the Austin, Texas-based bank to report quarterly earnings at 81 cents per share, down from its 82 cents per share in the year ago period. So they're thinking that they're actually going to lose a little money. The analysts are saying, not the analysts I like to read the analysts just because we are an entertainment company here. But you got to understand, when you're listening to analysts are just people like you and I. They're nobody. They're traders who lost their edge or never found one, and now they're analyzing trades and giving their opinions about a stock. So they really don't matter, but they can help in the short term move the price needle a little bit. So they're thinking that it's gonna be a bust. They're not gonna be able to beat the 81 cents. Beat the 82 cents from the previous year. It's gonna be 81. And let's see, CrowdStrike projects to report revenue at 98.3 mil for the recent quarter, compared to its 786 million a year earlier. So if they have a beat on their earnings, they want to show at least 983 million to be able to beat and actually show for their expectations. And if that actually comes out, if that works out and things work out for CrowdStrike, you're going to see it go much, much higher. But of course, that's never definitive, because the overall market likes to price these things in ahead. So it's forward looking. So CrowdStrike, where it's at right now, is forward looking 3 to 6 months, depending on who you are or who you ask, but it is forward looking. So CrowdStrike is going to ask itself, the investors are going to ask themselves, is this beat or is this bust where we plan on being? So that's why we have in the overall questionnaire the votes that you can take a vote on right now. Will CrowdStrike be above or below its closing price? One of the options is break even, because that does happen, folks. It does happen. We see a lot of volatility, a lot of people getting in and out, and then it ends up break even, but it's rare. NVIDIA ended up doing it the last time. And I must have said on air, whoever voted for break even, if you guys get this, I'm going to give you guys free t-shirts, because somebody was trying to hold me to it. I said, well, were you one of those break even? Did you? And he goes, well, I didn't vote break even, but you did say that. And I was like, well, tell me who the break even people were. I'll buy them. I'll get them a shirt. I'll send them a shirt. But nobody came forward. But I tell you, it was a good show. It was a good show. We had over 1,000 views. That was awesome. We had a lot of people watching too. There was like 60 people watching it, or 59, I think we topped out at, but it was an average of about 50 people for about 3.5 hours, guys. It was a good time. And I was celebrating too that day. That was a good time too. Today, it's not beers though. It's not cervezas. This is just lemonade. It's Minute Maid, and it's delicious. Let me know in the chat, guys. What are you watching? I know today it's CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike is going to be releasing its numbers in 14 minutes, and I will put them up just for you right above where that scrolly thing is. You guys are going to love it. And yeah, let me know what you're trading. Today I had a rough day. Today was a rough day for me. Oh yeah. Yeah, I gave back a little bit today. But that's what you're going to do. Tesla, I played Tesla, but it came back down, stopped me out. NVIDIA, I played NVIDIA, it stopped me out. What else did I play? I played a couple of them. Yeah, today just wasn't a good day for me, but the S&P 500, look at that. The S&P 500 about to break new all-time highs right here, guys. Thanks to utilities. XLU, rip, tater, chip, baby. Yep. Excuse me. Yeah, that the S&P 500 is killing it. That's what I like to see in my long-term account. And the long-term account, I just checked it. Things are looking really, really good. I'm very happy and pleased. Of course, once again, when we look at this, excuse me, guys. What's going on here? There we go. When we look at the overall S&P 500 like this is a big reason why we're risk on and risk off when we are. We can, I've totally missed this whole carry trade, the Japanese carry trade. We did, And now right here in S&P 500, you heard it here first, guys, 601 for the S&P 500, new all-time highs. And my long-term trading account, just to make a long story short, the actual funds don't go in there. We don't see the actual funds till 8 o'clock because I'm in a lot of mutual funds in that, and those don't get updated till after hours, after the market completely closes at 8. Let's bring this desk down, shall we? Come on down here with me. I'll take a little peeky gander down here, shall we? Pop ourselves a squat. All right. Come on down here. Oh, my chair's locking up. So I got this chair, this rolly chair, but each roller, and I don't know why, but each roller has its own click. So if you step on that click, it keeps you from rolling, and I absolutely hate it. But anyway, back to the task at hand, and that is CrowdStrike. So here's the S&P 500. We're gonna go back to CrowdStrike, show you where it's at on the daily. This is where we are sitting right now currently on CrowdStrike. We're obviously a little extended from the 10-day. When I say extended, I'm saying it's just not riding it, right? It pushed up higher than the 10-day, so we're a little extended from the 10-day. I do like the look of CrowdStrike creating these new higher lows. To me, I feel like, there hasn't been much of a setup on this thing for me. Couldn't have played it here for me, no. And obviously, no real base or trend breakout setup that goes with my strategy. But I tell you what, I do like the look of it. It's a staircase pattern. I know we have a gentleman named Predator. He loves these stair step patterns. They're all over the place. I know VERN or VRNE, VRNA, I think it was. Yeah, here's a beautiful stair step pattern. It's starting to get a little choppy now at the top, but this is another stair step pattern. This showed him another lot of those trend lines. Same thing with CrowdStrike. You see a lot of these trend lines kind of forming in here. Stair step pattern to the north side. It's nice and easy. It's starting to head up easier. And now CrowdStrike has about 11 minutes until we get to figuring out what is going on, baby. What is going on? Reminds me of a song. What's going on? So yeah. Here we go. CrowdStrike's up. Things are ready to rock. We got 10 minutes left to go. Let me know what you're watching in the chat. Jimmy Bright, you do any trading today? I think you're on that paper trading stuff, which is great. Let me know. How's your paper trading been going, brother? We're up to 43 views already. Holy crap. That's a good thing. Who's voting? We got 40%. 40% say red. So now we have 10 votes on the poll. We're up to 40%. 40% of people saying we are going to be heading lower. Very interesting. I gotta remember to kill the lo-fi music before we start listening to the earnings. Let me just do this. Excuse me. Need to cough in your ear there, guys. There we go. All right, 10 minutes. 10 minutes, baby. No trades today, Jimmy. Okay. Yeah, I wish I didn't trade today. I tell you that. Yeah, buddy. Not rolling like a big shot. Chevy's not tuned up like a NASCAR pit stop. Say, all right. You can't win them every day. I tell you what, if I won them every day, I want to be here right now. I'd probably be in my barn, though, doing the same damn thing and just look way cooler. I got big plans, guys. If this show takes off, we're moving out to the barn. I'm going to park a Tesla behind me. No, I'm only kidding. I'm not going to buy one. They're too expensive. I won't allow myself to afford it, but I do like Teslas. You guys know I like the Cybertrucks, too, and it's probably, I'm going to lose viewership on this one, but I do. I really like those damn Teslas. I like those Cybertrucks. I really do. You know who hates them is Dan, Bob, Dan, the greatest moderator alive. He hates those Cybertrucks. Oh, yeah, we're bringing up a picture right now. The classic. Oh, yeah, look at this classic Cybertruck. Oh, yeah. My wife went to Texas last week, and she said she's seen a ton of these Cybertrucks driving around. Just a ton of them, she said. She said they were all over the place. So absolutely killer. NATL, is that what you played, Wooden Bell? Hell yeah. How'd you do on that? I'm going to take a look at NATL. I'll do it on the side screen over here. NATL. And yes, guys, if you are not aware, we got 8 minutes until this webcast starts popping off. Yes, I signed up just for you, so it made it easier on you. So if you're here now, make sure you vote on the poll. We got 12 votes right now. We can get more votes than that. Come on, people. 33% say green will be heading higher. 42% say red. 17%, you're just here for the coffee. 8% say break even. I think you break even traders are absolutely crazy that you can say that you're break even. Break even. But yeah, that's going to be right here, guys. That's going to be coming out very, very soon. No worries. Trust me. You got it right here. You're going to hear it first. Okay, so back to what you were saying, my good friend, Wooden Bell. I'm glad you're here. NATL, HETR, you said you're still in it? Oh, it's looking good. Nice push up off the bottom today. This is the stock that they played. This is here is on the daily. You can see a nice bounce off that 10-day moving average as it pushed higher. Let's take a look at the hourly. As yes, it's still moving higher and towards those new all-time highs. So congratulations to you, Wooden Bell. You know, I absolutely love to see our Discord making money, baby, as we are just waiting for the last 7 minutes and CrowdStrike will be getting it, baby. CrowdStrike earnings coming up very soon. And of course, we're going to have the conference call live because I signed up just for you. I make things easy for you. I am here for you. So hit that like and subscribe button, baby, because we are going to be doing a lot more earnings as long as we keep popping off at the mouth with something we shouldn't have said, baby. Coming up very soon, place your bets, but don't place your gambles. 6 minutes, 44 seconds. Let me, I got to bring up really quick news down here. There we go. Excuse me. Excuse me. All right. I think we're all set and all ready. Let me make sure this is up. It is. Yeah, we're good to go, guys. Here we go. I hope you guys are ready. Still in. Got in at 31.26. 31.26. Yeah, nice. Very nice. Let me put that on the 5 minute and see where 31.26 puts me. 31.26. U-shaped bottom. You took it after it broke that. I like that. Okay, I like that. So I'm going to mark this and I'll show you guys the entry. So if you guys look here, this is Wooden Bell's entry price on NATL. You can see here, nice little cup as it rounds up. Volume comes in, breaks through this area of resistance. Now it's going to act as support like it did previous. So NATL, nice breakout to the north side. So that's a nice look. It's a very nice look for NATL, and I hope the best for that trade. I want it to keep on keeping on. B. Stewie said something very important. He said, smash that subscribe button, and I have to agree with him. If you guys don't know where it's at, that's fine. We got some boomers in here. I'm close to being a boomer myself. Right here is the like button. Smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and continue to watch. We have less than 5 minutes, guys. Less than 5 minutes, and you better believe we have the webcast up and ready to go. Excuse me for coughing in your ear. I have that pneumonia. Yes, with a P, pneumonia. Equities head higher as markets farce Trump's tariff plans. Yes, tariff plans. That has been the hottest talk of the town is those tariff plans. I don't think CrowdStrike's going to be a part of those, so we will see. Yeah, nice grab, Wooden Bell. We absolutely love to hear those winners. I agree with B. Stewie 100%. With just 4 minutes left to go, I hope you guys are pumped and excited as myself. And B. Stewie, he says, has me jacked up. Let's go. Yeah, baby. Let's go, baby. I am pumped. Let's do this, guys. CrowdStrike's fiscal third quarter 2025 financial results conference call happening at 2 p.m. PT or 4 p.m. Eastern Central Time. Or Eastern. I shouldn't say Central. We don't want to get anybody confused. Eastern time, guys, less than 4 minutes. I hope you guys are ready. I think we can go ahead and take this off here. I'm just going to pause it so we don't get an alert or an alarm. We're going to let that go, and we are going to take control, baby. I hope everybody is ready to rock. Place your bets, baby. Place your bets, baby. Let's see what they got to say. I also want to make sure this works. Everybody is ready to rock. It does work. We are ready to rock, Dave. Thank you very much. All right, here we go, folks. This is what we've been waiting for. We got about 3 minutes left to go. 3 minutes left to go. Earnings coming out soon. Coming in hot. Coming in hot. That MSTU continued lower too, which was absolutely nuts that happened. I was really expecting a bounce off that 10-day moving average, and we did get it. We did get it, but it was very short-lived, and it headed much, much lower. Yeah, Netgear just beat the crap out of me today. But anyway, we are here for CRWD. I hope you guys are ready. I know I am. CrowdStrike coming out very, very soon. Dan, the greatest moderator alive, has posted our link tree in the chat. If you guys haven't seen it, if you click that link tree, you're going to get this queue up here. You click on our YouTube, you can go to our free trading school, y'all. This is absolutely amazing. Trend breaks, base breaks out, and risk management, and much, much more. We have everything that you need in here to get a grasp and understanding knowledge of the overall market. Go ahead and do that. And of course, you can find me on Discord. TradingView, this downloaded, absolutely amazing. You can do it for free, or you can download the basic plan. Not very expensive at all, like $15 a month. I think there's a sale on the Black Friday. We also have a Facebook. You guys need to go to this Facebook. If you guys want to be a part of it, you have to sign up. There is a nice little thing that we should do. Swing Trader Strategies, come here, join us. It's all for absolutely $0 So let's get it, as CrowdStrike's going to be releasing its earnings in about 2 minutes, folks. 2 minutes. Hope you're here. Hope you're happy. Hope you're doing as well as I am. I know I could always be doing better each and every day by 1%. Let's get better together. Hit that like and subscribe button, guys. CrowdStrike, CRWD, CrowdStrike Holdings. Remember, back in July, we had a huge tanky tank on that Friday, that God-given Friday. We decided to sell off very hard because of that update, and it is very close to those all-time highs. Once again, I have it marked out here so we can see way up here around 385. If we just shoot skyrocket back up to that area, that's going to be the area of resistance. And we're going to see very, very soon what CrowdStrike has in store for us, because we have less than 1 minute, folks. Less than 1 minute. And of course, I have your webcast right here. You can see it at the top left of your screen. I have everything signed up and ready so you hear it first. You're going to hear their earnings call. You're going to see first right in front of you. You're going to see the volatility come in for CrowdStrike, and you're also going to get the numbers right up here at the top for you, because we want to make sure that you guys can see firsthand what the earnings has in store for you, okay? So keep that all in mind, folks. I hope you guys are ready. I know I am too. We are going to have ourselves a good old time. 26 seconds. I don't know if the earnings are going to get dropped immediately after earnings, but we are going to be patiently here waiting for that news to drop, as the news is sitting right here. And of course, the webcast is right here. So we are all set already. I hope you guys are with me, baby. Here we go with 5 seconds left to go. We got to keep them hands warm. Keep the negatives at the bay. Okay, here we go. And market's over. Congratulations to anybody that landed a green day today, as we're waiting for CrowdStrike earnings to come out. If you are just joining me, hi, my name is Dave Worrell. I love everything stock market. We've been doing a lot more earnings forecasts lately. In the video, we just covered them, and we made a killer show, and I hope to do the same for CrowdStrike today, as we can keep on keeping on. CrowdStrike after the bell. We are waiting for those earnings to come out. It's not going to be long, people. If this is something that you like, something that you can get behind, if you want to see more earnings just like this, you know exactly what to do. I don't even need to explain it to you. You're smart enough to know. And CrowdStrike, we are already getting a push up. We're at 366.60 right now. We're going to put this on the 1 minute so we can see and understand the volatility at hand. We are just waiting for those numbers to come in, folks. That's all we need to see. Where are the numbers? When are they coming in? Right now, we are starting to see CrowdStrike at 366.6. We aren't seeing too much of a bid or ask. We can see the bid is at 362 and the ask is at 366. So if you're trying to get into this, that is not very tight. This is not a trader's game at this point. This is a swing trader's game, because you don't want to get in and out after the market. Now it's starting to tighten up. It's within $2 now, 64 and 66, 364 and 366. We're just waiting on this news to come out. Where are the numbers? Now we can see here at 17, it's trying to show us, excuse me, let me wet my whistle. Excuse me, guys. Oh, that pneumonia. The pneumonia is getting me. It's trying to take me down, but it's not going to take me down today. As the market is trading now, CrowdStrike is trading at 365. I'm looking at the bid and the ask to see if it's going to tighten up here, as we are within $1 now. So we went from what, $4, $5, something like that, down to $4, down to $1, and we're getting tighter. So that's a good sign in the overall exchange here, $1.50. Meaning the bid and the ask, we want to see them get tight. We want to see them get tight, because if not, it doesn't create a good market for trading. Okay, so when you have a bid that's at 364.50 and you have an ask at 366.27, that means if I bought the bid and sold the ask, I'm going to be down a full $1 at this point. We would like to see it within a penny. That is the greatest opportunities for trading, because now you're not going to get screwed out of some price finagling, right? So anyway, regardless, we're waiting for those numbers to come out in CrowdStrike. We're waiting to see if that bid and that ask is going to tighten up. BYMO, would you report also about Dell earnings? Is Dell today? We can see if Dell is today, and we can definitely, when they drop, I can report Dell's earnings as well. We're going to focus on CrowdStrike for right now, but of course, if Dell is and when Dell comes out, we can give you the numbers too. I'll just throw it up here on the side here, and we'll see if we can get Dell's number right when they come out. I do have them up here. The estimate is 2.059 for the earnings, and the revenue estimate is 24.67 billion. So yes, we will have Dell up for you too. I can't tell you if I'll have them exactly spot on right on time for you, but if you stick with me, you're damn right I can get Dell's earnings numbers out for you, sir. CrowdStrike, we're just waiting on right now as that's pulling back 363.06. We'll see very, very soon if CrowdStrike wants to send us these damn numbers. Send them out. Let's see it, baby. And if you guys love the earnings or you want to see more stuff like this, just hit that like and that subscribe button, baby, because we are here. We're doing it, and we're doing it live, baby. If you like live, then you need to join up. I was just there, a paper trading for 8 months, just started real account a couple months ago. That's right. B. Stewie has been doing it for quite some times now, guy. He has been doing it for quite some time. He has been paper trading religiously. He's had to start over his account quite a few times. The thing is with B. Stewie is he is not trying to rush a thing. He's taking his time working on the things he needs to work on. And next thing you know, he is getting things like, what was that Rocket Lab, like 150R, something absolutely ridiculous, risking small, gaining big, and that is the name of the game. The numbers game is to not lose money, right? We have the CrowdStrike fiscal third quarter 2025 financial result conference call coming up. It says, please stand by. We are waiting patiently like it is a sniper trade ready to be taken. Thank you guys so much for joining me. My name is David Worrell. We absolutely love to do this, and we are waiting. What are we waiting for? The numbers, baby. When these numbers come out, you're going to see them on the top of your screen on the scrolly thing up top. Yes, I don't know what it's called. A scrolly thing? Come on. The text scroll, right? The text scroll. Anyway, guys, right back at it now. We're getting pullbacks back and forth with CrowdStrike. It looks like somebody's taking advantage of this shitty range-bound trade as the bid's at 365.30 and the ask is now 365.90. We are tightening up less than $1, so a market is starting to be made. That is showing, oh, and there we go, 370. We're moving higher. It looks like we are waiting on the news to come out, but we are seeing a huge amount of volatility come in for CrowdStrike, just as we expected. This thing popped back up and back down from 370 back down. Crowd reports third quarter fiscal year 2025, and here it comes. Surpasses $4 billion, ending an ARR milestone. Grows 27% over year to year, reaching a 4.02 milestone. Now pulling back now at 355.90. Huge pullback right now. Exceeds $1 billion quarter total revenue milestone. Grows 29% year over year, reaches $1.1 billion. Delivers cash flow from operations at $326 million and free cash flow of $231 million, achieving a free cash flow of 51. This is all looking like great news for CrowdStrike, but CrowdStrike, the market is not liking this. The market does not like this news at all. So we need to definitely keep in mind here, folks, huge pullback on the overall market. We need to zoom out and take a little peeky gander. Is there any support in this area? You can see a big pullback here, right all the way back down to this area here. Big pullback for the overall CrowdStrike. So we're going to see if this wants to recover from this pullback, or is this just a minor setback? But from what I see on this, we're seeing a lot of good numbers. So we're going to go ahead and post those up here for you guys. This just happened right here up at the top. You guys can see surpasses $4 billion, 27% year over year to date. So things are looking really good. But like I said, that's why we don't gamble on earnings, because you can see right here, huge pullback, unexpected for what we would consider a double beat. Okay, so let's be careful with that. Now we're going to keep an eye out on Dell earnings as well while we wait for the CrowdStrike conference call to come in. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you like those numbers. I hope if you were shorting, you're making some money, or I hope that you understand this could be a minor pullback for the overall CrowdStrike. As if we look at this thing on the daily, folks, let's take a little peek on the daily, shall we? we want to make sure and have an understanding. Oh, let me just read the EPS really quick. Let's see. EPS 93 cents, beat 81. Remember, they thought they were not going to be able to beat 81. Analysts thought they weren't going to be able to beat it, and they beat it by a milestone. Sales of 1.01 billion beat 992 estimate. So things are looking amazing. It's a double beat for CrowdStrike, and sure enough, you can see this huge pullback. And without the conference call starting up just now, I wouldn't say it's their future expectations, but we will see very soon. Now we have the adjusted EPS, 93 beats 81 estimates. Let's see, CrowdStrike comes 3Q loss. Let's read this. Okay. A lot more interesting things coming in here. Just read at the top. You'll see we have all the estimates, everything that's supposed to be. The market's trading at 350.50 now for CrowdStrike. CRWD trading at 350.50 right now, guys. We're still waiting on Dell's numbers to come out. Bear with me here, folks. We're just waiting on Dell's numbers to come out now. There we go. Dell's numbers are out. I'll just bring them to you really quick. Give me 1 second. Dell Technology ended third quarter with $6.6 billion in cash investments. Dell Technology there we go. Dell Technologies 2.15 beat on a 2.05 estimate. So they beat sales to 24.37 billion, miss from the estimate of 24.65. So they had a beat on the earnings and a adjusted 25 beat estimate. The Q3, the sales, they missed by a slight miss. So Dell Technologies looking good. Overall, Dell did have a huge pullback. It actually looks a lot like CRWD. You're seeing a lot of similarities in CrowdStrike and Dell there. So very interesting to see there. But yeah, they didn't have a double beat. CrowdStrike had the double beat. Dell had a beat and a miss on their sales. All right, so keep that in mind. Yeah, CrowdStrike, big pullback here. This could be an opportunity, or this could be a shaky sell-off, as the investors were expecting maybe more from this beat. Even though it's a double beat, we're not seeing the Wall Street liking this very much. Very soon we are going to have the conference call. So stick with me here, guys. The conference call will be coming on very soon. Hope you're excited for it. It's going to give an overall insight to the future of CrowdStrike Holdings and see what they plan on doing in the near future. So let's stay focused on that. It should be starting very soon here, guys. It's at 4 o'clock. It's 4:10. You know I don't like people being late. Speaking of late, where's the Predator? Where you at, Predator? You need to get in this room right here, right now, baby. You're late. No, only kidding. And I do want to give a shout out to Dan Bob, Dan, the greatest moderator alive. He is sick today, along with me and a lot of people that have been sick, have been having complications. Dan Bob, I just want to shout out, give you my love, brother. We appreciate you, what you do for us, even when you're not doing well. And he is still here with us today, kicking ass, taking names, and he is not feeling so well. So shout out to you, Dan Bob. Thank you so much for being here. Nothing but love, brother. I know B. Stewie got sick. He coughed over the mic. He got me sick. And then I passed it on to Dan Bob. So this really is all B. Stewie's fault anyway. So you guys can send him some love in the messages. What's up, Zamora? Zamora, I hope you're A-okay. I know you took that Tesla trade. It popped up, came back down. I hope you took a little profits off while you're up there. But Zamora, it's good to see you in the building. It's good to see you. Zamora had a turning point in her life just the other day and got rid of a lot of the old things that she was holding. And I tell you what, it's so nice to see when people start like turning a new leaf. They really start you're taking the reins is what it is. I think that's why I like it so much, and that's why I'm talking about it right now, because you're really taking the reins of your life. You're really trying to say, no, these are not a part of me. They're not a part of my life. They're a part of, some decisions that I held on for too long. So I appreciate you being here, Zamora. Thanks for being with us. CrowdStrike's numbers came out. You can see them right up at the top here, surpassing their $4 billion, ending an ARR milestone, growing 27% year over the date, reaching above that $4.02 billion in revenue. So that's awesome. Absolutely awesome to see. They're making new milestones. Why the big sell-off? Well, that's why we always want to be careful out there You always want to be careful with these because if you have earnings like this, it can be a gamble. It doesn't matter what, yes, it does hurt, Zamora. Absolutely. It does hurt, but I tell you, it's better to cut it, let it hurt now, than to not cut it and let it hurt in the very, very near future, So just keep that in mind. What you did, yes, it hurts, but I'm very proud of you for doing it. Nobody wants to hold on to those losers. You really don't want to be holding on to those losers. So right now, where the bid is at, 352.80. So if we show you this on the overall calendar, 352.80, you can see it came right down to that 10-day moving average. Is it going to bounce off that 10-day moving average? You can see this is where the 10-day moving average lines up. You can see it came right down to it and bounced off of it. Will it continue to bounce off of? That's the question. Right here's the 5-minute time frame. And if we look a little bit further into this CrowdStrike pullback, you can see on the 5-minute, we are starting to get some wicks now off this bottom. If I throw this on the 1-minute time frame, sorry, that was the 15, the 1-minute time frame, you can see big wicks, and now it looks like it's starting to turn around here. So if it's actually going to turn around and continue higher, I have no idea, but this does look like it's actually trying to halt this downhill landslide of a sell-off right now, as Dell is trying to do the same thing. They're trying to hold as well. So we're going to see if CrowdStrike wants to start heading up from this area or if it's going to continue to sell off. And we're going to see during the conference call if they have any better insights that's going to get these CrowdStrike investors excited. So let's see very, very soon. Hopefully they come out and start talking soon before my voice is gone. And guys, if you guys have any earnings, I know that Dell was one too today. The gentleman just brought up, and they just released. But if you have anything tomorrow, or if there's any earnings that you guys are actually interested that you guys want me to do it, the vote is going to always win. If anybody in the Discord or anybody has something that they absolutely have a need for, just let me know. We're going to throw these things up. We're going to start doing more earnings calls. The only thing I would say that kind of sucks is, hey, get your ass on the line, CrowdStrike. Fiscal third quarter 2025 financial conference call. I tell you what, I'm not late, right? I was here early, right? What about this conference call? Let's go. No, I'm only kidding. These CEOs, they're on rapper time. You know what I mean? It's a real thing. Rapper time's a real thing. Oh, CrowdStrike, look at that big bump up. If you guys watch this on the 1 minute, it gets crazy. And why are we watching on the 1 minute? Because that is how fast this thing is moving. We just seen movement from 156 all the way up to 164. And in that same first opening minute, 347 all the way up here to 370. That is a make or break your kind of account. So CrowdStrike right here is definitely volatile, just as we assumed. Still lower than its closing bell, ringing in at 364.58. Now trading at 356.50. As you can see at the top, you can see their earnings as their mixed guidance is what is not doing very well. I guess they had a mixed guidance here. So we're going to see very, very soon what they have for us in the near future. CrowdStrike now trading at 357.73. We're going to kill this lo-fi music once they come out and start chatting. Don't worry, the conference call is on. I've got you guys all signed up and ready to go. It says, please stand by. Don't you worry. I'm here first. We're going to make sure that you guys know what is happening. This is the heat map of today's overall play. Well, hi, Reese. How are you? My son would like to say hi. Come here, Reese. Come here, bud. Yeah, come here. Yeah.
It's all black.
Say hi. Look, he's got a green shirt on. That's a green shirt. And let's go green. Let's go green. Green, baby, green. Green like Amazon.
Is it
Do you want to say hi to Dan, Bob?
I give up.
Good job. Do you want to say hi to B. Stewie?
Hi, Sophie.
He said that backwards. Anyway, I love you.
Okay.
You want the key? I don't know what it goes to, but bring it back when you're done. All right, right back at it, guys. This is the heat map here. The heat map here looks absolutely awesome. We are starting to see a little bit mixed signals here. We're starting to see the commercial services start to head down like Visa and MasterCard. Apple, NVIDIA, Microsoft, Meta, Amazon really leading today. Amazon really leading, really pushing off with LLY as CrowdStrike pulling back again now, trading at 352. Let's take a look at Dell and see where that's at as it's pulling way back. Dell is really pulling back here. Dell is really selling off from 142 all the way down to 131. This is not looking good for Dell Technologies at all. Let's see where NVIDIA's at on this. Let's see if it's moving at all. Let's take a little peek again at our test. Let's see. CRWD, CrowdStrike, you can see is also pulling back. So we can see when we have CrowdStrike and things like this are happening, we want to see these wicks hold because these are where people are trying to support this area. And if it doesn't hold, I think we can head lower much faster. So we're going to see very soon. As the bid and the ask are about $1 off, they keep changing the range, that 50-cent sell-off. So sometimes it's at $1, sometimes it's at $1.50. But right now, it's not a good trading spot to be in because if you're buying $1 lower before you can sell, it can be even further. So Dan Bob Reese says, hi back, buddy. Good boy. Thanks, Mama. Mama came and pulled him out of here, but he wanted to be a YouTuber. He wanted to be a YouTuber, Mom. CrowdStrike shares sink on light guidance after a strong Q3 beats. Earnings alert. Earnings alert. So bad guidance is going to bring CrowdStrike down. I don't have the numbers on the guidance here for you guys just yet. Let's see here. I'm going to keep on keeping on. Revenue. Adjusted EPS. All right, CrowdStrike shares are showing mixed guidance. We got that. CrowdStrike sees its financial 25 revenue, $3.92 billion to $3.93 billion versus the 3.89 estimated. And the EPS 3.74, 3.76 versus the 3.63. So what do we have up at the top here? Things are looking good. Where is the conference call? Are you guys actually going to play? Come on now. I'm going to refresh this. Let's see. Yeah, it says please stand by. Alrighty. We're waiting patiently. Good little boys and girls. We're going to see if CrowdStrike wants to hold. There's a lot of wicks here that gives me opportunity, or at least an understanding that this has an opportunity to hold. Of course, with it being such a big spread, just over $1, I don't like it. It's not something I would trade. It's not clean enough. It needs to be within like 5 or 6 cents for me to want to trade something like that, you know? So just keep that in mind. You know, we want to see pennies. You know, if not, yeah, you hit that market buy, I mean, you're gonna get smacked. You don't want to get smacked. Don't get smacked with that in that market buy. Of course, in pre-market and aftermarket you can anyway, but I don't want to see any of you guys get hurt. Yeah, you like Reese better than David? He probably would. You know, I should make his own YouTube video. If you guys look, there's a lot of children's shows out there, man. You can't believe it, and their stories are so simple too. You know, they start this. You know, like Blippi and all those guys, like he started up shows because he didn't like what his nephew was watching. So he started making videos for his nephew, and then they ended up blowing up, you know. And now look at the guy, you know, he's worth like 300 million, you know, and he just keeps on having somebody else make his videos for him, which is smart to do, right? You keep good quality, you got good content, you keep on making that money. So yeah, that's maybe we should keep Reese on here. Just let him run it. Run it. You guys will all be watching Blippi though. You know, Blippi and like leaf lawn mowing. And I don't think half of you mind. All right. Well, while we wait, we'll just take a look at this Spider Sector ETF. Hopefully it'll be starting soon. But let's take a look at today's performance. At the end of the day, utilities still kicked ass. Technology just behind. Looked like everything did well except for materials. You can see material holdings did not do well. CFNUE, things like that. But utilities, goodness gracious. Look at NRG. Let's take a look at NRG, shall we? We'll come back to CrowdStrike. NRG looking really, really good today. Look at this big rip off that bottom. Wow, you love to see that. Things are looking really good for this utility stock. Let's go ahead and bring this up on the daily too. We can take a little peeky gander. Look at this, almost nearing those new all-time highs again. That clearly was a nice buy off this bottom bid right here as it showed support on its 30-day moving average. And this moves 4.4%, so that's actually a faster mover. So that's nice to see it reaching those new all-time, or clearly close to those new all-time highs. So we'll see very, very soon if they want to make it up there. We also have CEG, and if you guys remember, oh my gosh, CEG, that was a long time ago. I was watching CEG, and you can see here, CEG is an energy corporation, and they look like they are also reaching or getting close to those new all-time highs. I think, was Bloomberg Energy a part of that? I don't remember exactly, but we also have VST. I think a lot of you are aware of VST. It is a leader in this market right now in the energy sector, doing very, very well. And the great thing about this sector ETF is you can do that hovering around VWAP, is it? So P. Stewie loves to use that anchored VWAP. So if we pull up anchored VWAP, we'll just go ahead and bring it up here, and I'll show you guys anchored VWAP. We'll bring up the webcast too, just to make sure we don't lose that. So let's bring up CrowdStrike, and we'll do a little anchored VWAP on this thing here, okay? So if we pull this CrowdStrike and we look at it on a daily time frame here, you guys are going to see the areas that I like to pull. There's two areas, at the all-time high and the most recent all-time low. So I'll pull an anchored VWAP from here, and I'm going to pull an anchored VWAP from right here, okay? Now we can go ahead and zoom in, and you can see this white line here is going to represent, both of these are going to represent that anchored VWAP. So they're way down here. But I think what B. Stewie is trying to point out is on the 5-minute time frame, if we zoom in here, if I can, if we zoom in here and we pull an anchored VWAP, maybe from the top of this, you can see it is right there at its anchored VWAP. It's smacking right into that thing right at the top. You see that? So from today's highs to where it's located now, you can see it smacked right into that area and started to sell off a little lower, almost showing a head and shoulders pattern. So I can see that for sure, definitely taking effect there as well. CrowdStrike looks like it's trying to recover from the overall sell-off, now trading at 356.02. We're going to see if this wants to continue to have an issue in this area. This wicking off this bottom is what got me excited. We're going to see if it wants to continue higher, as the bid's 356.60, 356.50, and the ask is 356.94. So we're tightening up a little bit. I don't think the market's really going to create a market for this, actually. It looks like it's going to be far and few in between in this, but just keep in mind, if you are a long-term investor, it came all the way back down and retested this 10-day moving average, which is a great sign for this if it wants to continue to hold this 10-day moving average, because the last time it touched it acted as support for 3 solid days in a row. So that's a great, great sign. Oh man, 356.30 currently for CrowdStrike. Let's go back and take a look at Dell. Dell looks like it's finally starting to slow up here, all the way down here at 132.32. You can see Dell had a big sell-off from that 142 area, now all the way down, selling off $10 in the after hours for earnings. Let's see where it puts us on the map right now. It puts us all the way back down to that 30-day moving average. So Dell has been constantly on a nice uptrend. It does look like, it looks a lot like CrowdStrike. It really does. You get this big sell-off here, sells off hard, cuts the 200-day moving average, finally gets above it, retests, and then continues to take off, making a nice stair-step pattern, as CRWD or CrowdStrike did the same thing. Big sell-off here as it created that flag pattern, big sell-off. It started to make a stair-step pattern, got above a 200-day moving average, and continued higher. A lot of similarities there. A lot of similarities there. Well, let's see here. Let me do this. Let me do a little of this. You guys can listen to music. All right, it looks like the conference call is going to be in 30 minutes, guys. 30 minutes, so 5 p.m. So stick with me. In about 30 more minutes, let's see, 32 more minutes. We can even bring up a timer here if you want. We'll just do this. 32 minutes. And we'll just type in earnings call for you. Bam. All right. Now we know. Now we know when. I looked her up. So 32 minutes until the conference call actually comes out and starts jibber jabbering. Excuse me. It looks like the S&P 500 is still continuing to head higher. CrowdStrike did not harm S&P 500 at all, that's for sure. As the S&P 500 reached new all-time highs while we were on live stream today, breaking through that 600, getting up to 601.32. And it looks like the overall S&P 500 wants to continue to head higher. So if you have a long-term portfolio, which God help me, I hope you do, you are going to be happy today reaching new all-time highs. I sure know I am, because when we stated that we were risk on, this was a hard time to be risk on, people. Why was it hard? Because we had this huge gap up after the Trump relief. We'll call it the Trump relief, because now nobody's so worried about our dystopian future. Now we are here in this area. We had to go risk on, and it was very, very hard to go risk on in this area. As it came back, tested its risk on area, we almost got risk off here. We were very close. It almost closed below a 21-day moving average as we headed higher, now making new all-time highs. And as I look at my long-term portfolio, I'm making new all-time highs in my long-term portfolio, as well as it has not finished yet. After 8 o'clock, it will update. So I should see not only a new all-time high, but I should see a brand new number in there, and it should make me wet my whistle, drop the draw. It was going to be happy-go-lucky. And we are happy to see it, because we are always rooting for the S&P 500 to head higher. We always are. Why? Because we know that we have to have that head higher for our futures to head higher. And as long as we continue to bank on America, we can continue to make money, as the overall S&P 500 usually achieves between 6 and 11% yearly every year annually. Excuse me. Wow. Let me wet my whistle and I'll try that again. The overall S&P 500 is gaining returns between 6 and 11%, so it is easy to want to buy into this thing and hold for at least 10 years minimum. But remember, in our Discord, we're going to be going over the long-term event, the long-term investing portfolio, what I do, and how we can look back and actually time test it. We can see where it's at. The news today is CrowdStrike. Of course, CrowdStrike, here we go. CrowdStrike popping back up here and selling off again. I'm telling you, we've seen all these wicks on the bottom, and when you see this wicking action on the bottom, it shows that there is support. And what is that support? That 10-day moving average was support. And you can clearly see the last time it hit its 10-day moving average, it got bought back up and started heading higher, folks. And you can see here, it's getting bought back up. It's starting to head higher. And every time it gets back up here, back to where it was originally, it sells off. Now, I'll tell you this, I'm going to laugh my ass off, because if in chat is right and we had a vote, the question is, will CrowdStrike be above or below its closing price? 46% of you said green, that will be heading higher. 29% of you guessed that we would be red, heading lower. 21% of you said you're just here for the coffee. Cheers to you. 4% said break even. Now, break even is really hard to get, and I'm going to laugh my ass off if by the end of this trading conference call that we are at break even. I'm going to laugh. I'm telling you. Like, break even is going to become more and more popular now, because, you know, every time we break down, it's like, well, then buy up. Every time we go higher, well, then sell it. You know, no, it's just, it's all in good fun, guys. But CrowdStrike looks like it is showing some strength down here as it got wicked up. It got soaked up. It got bought up by institutional ownership, and it's wanting to head higher now. Still below its closing price right now. So if you voted on the poll and you said red, currently you are right. The 29% of you who voted red, you're right now. But we're going to see by the end of the conference call, which is starting in 27 minutes. So if you guys have just joined me, welcome. My name is David Worrell. I love to do anything that has to do with the markets, but we have been focusing very, very solely on earnings calls right now. Earnings calls are very popular. We appreciate you joining. If you're learning anything from this channel, yes, we do swing trading strategy. We are momentum traders. We like to learn about the market. And if you want to get better each and every day, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, baby, because we are here for you. Yes, we have people in the chat. We have people in the Discord, and all you have to do is join. You have to have an open mind and a golden heart, people. It's as simple as that. And if you're good, boys and girls, I might have my son back on here. But it's good to have everybody in here. We got 27 minutes till the earnings conference call. So make sure while you're waiting, you let me know what you are watching in the chat. Of course, we know Dell had earnings come out today as well, as they are trying to find a new price here, wicking way off down towards these lows of this 30-day moving average. It's not a good look for the overall Dell company on that pullback, but still can show here if it wants to be supported. Of course, the S&P 500 in the after hours is still holding up towards those all-time highs, and that's a really good sign for the overall market. Excuse me. Forgive me, guys. I got pneumonia with a P. Pneumonia with a P. You need to be really careful with that pneumonia. That stuff is going around. It's contagious. B. Stewie gave it to me. I give it to Dan Bob. Dan Bob is trying to give it to somebody else, so watch out, folks. Dan Bob's sick. Dan Bob's sick. We don't want to, you know. We're going to end the poll now, guys. Actually, let's see. Let's take a look at CrowdStrike. I don't want to end the poll. I want to give you one more chance. This is your last chance to vote. We got 25 votes and 25 people watching. I'm going to end the vote in about 10 seconds. Make sure you're live too, by the way, guys. Click that live button. We're going to end the poll in about 30 seconds. How about that? I'll give you 30 more seconds. We're going to end this. We're going to make it so nobody else can vote. So make sure you vote on the poll. You got 10, 9, 8, 7. Make sure you vote on the poll. Get it in the last chance. 25 people, 26 watching. So if you haven't already, let me know. All right, we're ending the poll. 44% of you said green. 31% said red. 20 said for the coffee, and 3% said break even. So we'll see very, very soon what you guys come up with. But let's start a new poll here. Let's see. Is this your first time here? Yes, no, or I will never tell. All right, go ahead and vote on the poll. I am curious, guys, because I know our demographic is a little older. I'm very interested to see if this is your first time here. Is this your first time here? Is this your first time meeting up? Is this your first time saying hi? If you've been here before, then just click no. If this is your first time here, click yes. And if you don't want to tell me, then make it a secret. That's A-okay. But we got a new vote on the poll, so make sure you vote on the poll. We'll see who we got in here, as CrowdStrike is trying to continue to make this nice trend higher. We're going to see if it wants to continue to hold this trend to the north side, as the conference call is going to be coming out in less than 25 minutes. So make sure you guys are with me here on this. It's a good day. It's a good day to be alive. We played a few shit tickers today, like TOYO. This thing, man, I'm telling you. I lost about $300 on TOYO today. That was not good. Oh, this PDYN, man, I'm telling you, last, was it 2 days ago? Yeah, 2 days ago, this thing was a beautiful trader. Look at this. Absolutely beautiful. Trend break city. Look at this. Trend break, and then a downturn in the trend break. That was beautiful, though. I wish I could have changed my mind here. I also see support at 4. Oh, it was just beautiful. Beautiful mover, guys. This is what you want to see in a small cap trade. This is not. I'm only kidding. But let's see. That bid spread is only 75 cents now, a little less than 75 cents. So there's still a market. There's actually still a market. There's actually still people trading this thing. Still 75 cents, a bit big on a spread when you're talking about CrowdStrike, but we'll see very, very soon. We'll see very, very soon. It wants to hold this uptrend. It's pretty tight. Big movement, though, so far in today's CrowdStrike, so I'm glad we streamed it. Big movement. Big movement. This one was definitely a hard one to get a hold of. We can go through the Mag 7 stocks while we're waiting. This is the S&P 500, new all-time highs as of today. Make sure this webcast, want to make sure we can hear everything. Let me just do a mic check really quick, guys. Big movement. All right, cool. We got the mic check. Everything's good to go. All right, cool. We're on standby for CrowdStrike's fiscal third quarter 2025 financial results conference call. So we're definitely going to be here. We have everything up and ready. Dan says, follow us on all platforms. He's posted that link tree at the bottom there. You know what? Let's just do this. Let me show you guys really quick. I want to show you this Facebook thing. If you click on Facebook in our link tree, so just go down on the link tree here after you click the link tree, click on this Facebook, and then this will pop up. This is the Swing Traders strategy, guys. This is absolutely awesome. If you scroll down, you're going to find a lot of different things. Right here is mastering the market and spotting patterns, reading profits. You can go through this. Reading a stock chart is easy as training your eyes to see the details and patterns. However, some people are more naturally able to focus on patterns and details, but anyone can develop this skill. So let's have some fun and train our eyes. Find the woodstock. So this is like a training the eyes. You know, I don't know if you guys used to do this as a kid, but these are fun little things that he posts. Of course, we're keeping you up to date with the holiday market hours. Thursday, we're going to be closed. Nobody's going to be trading. Thanksgiving, Turkey Day here in America. So if you like turkey, so do I. Let's eat and take ourselves a nice little nap. Of course, Friday the 29th, 2:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. So a half day on Friday, it looks like. So do keep that in mind. Thank you so much, Dan Bob, for posting these because it does keep us up to date. And look, if you're not with me right now, here we are. Don't miss the weekly earnings date for CrowdStrike. And of course, the trading workbook. There's just so many key aspects of this Facebook group. And if you're on Facebook, like a lot of people are, all you need to do is go look us up, Swing Trader Strategies, go here and apply. We keep all the spammers out, as Jolene and Dan Bob do a very good job thoroughly inspecting everyone and making sure that they are a real person. Next up is Bitcoin, as Bitcoin had a terror pullback all the way down here at 85,914. This thing is not looking the best, but when I say that, I'm just saying it's got a pullback. It's not that it's not looking the best. It's just everybody expected it to hit 100,000 and it did not. It's having the pullback. It needs to build new higher lows again before it can actually break through. But if it really builds up, it's going to be a doozy. The NASDAQ closed near highs, but not all-time highs. The S&P 500 holds that, as the Dow Jones Industrial also hit those new all-time highs. The SMH, which is your semiconductor ETF, not doing nearly as well as we want it to, just squatting down now on top of the 200-day moving average. Now, this is what I like to see. This is the RSP, or the equally weighted S&P 500. You can see we are at these new all-time highs yesterday, and we are squatting towards those new all-time highs once again. The VIX Volatility Index really dropped off today. We're only sitting at 14.1, so anything below that 17 is going to be better for the overall indices to be trading. Usually there's an inverse correlation. Now, these are the ones that I want to see respectfully, and that's NVIDIA, as NVIDIA has just closed near its 50-day moving average like it did yesterday. Not very good. Tesla trying to hold that base, that basing bottom. If that base breaks, I think we can definitely head lower on Tesla, so we need to be careful. And Netflix, my pride and joy, is still doing very well, holding above the 10-day moving average. We have about 19 minutes left, guys. 19 minutes left until the earnings call. I got this labeled wrong. I said 4 p.m. It's actually 5 p.m., but that's a-okay. We're not going to change that. You guys can just ignore that, right? Amazon is looking absolutely Amazonian, amazing. I tried to say amazing in Amazon. I tried to, whatever, I'm a dad. So Amazon sitting at 207.86, 207.90 now in the after hours. You can see a huge push up today for Amazon, looking absolutely amazing. I tried it again. It's not working. I'm going to have to cut myself off from trying to do dad jokes live. So bite my tongue. Hope to die. Stick a needle. All right, so AMZN is doing very, very well. Big push up today. Its average daily range is only 2.4%. And today you can see, and it moved up 3.35%. So go ahead and add that to your average Amazon, because that's definitely moving. Google bouncing off of its 21-day moving average respectfully. And Meta looks like it's also trying to hold above the 50-day moving average, just trading just below it. One thing I was looking at today was SMCI. It really looked like a short. I called this short out in I called this short out in our Discord. I did not hold on to this short. I did take a short here. We made a little bit of money, but I didn't hold on to this thing. I just was, you know, I'm unsure. I'm unsure. I see this big, you know, downtrend here, but I don't know how excited and the investors are generally for SMCI. But I do think since they lost their full investor that they are going to continue to head lower. But we'll see very soon, you know, what happens there. CrowdStrike, we're back to CrowdStrike, 357.23 for the bid, 357.99. So we still have a market here, guys. It's still within $1 now. As if you guys remember when we started, CrowdStrike was actually at a $4 price difference from its bid to its ask, which is not tradable. Now it's actually getting to the point where it's almost tradable, guys. It's almost, you know, it's within that dollar, but I'd like to see within a couple of pennies. I'm just saying it's getting better. There's actually a market for it here now. There's bid, there's ask, and there's somebody here actually doing the damn thing. So you can see we got this uptrend here. It's trying to hold this uptrend. This uptrend started from its 10-day moving average on its daily. If it wants to continue to hold and continue to head higher, I'm going to continue to watch it. And we're going to see what happens here as every time it comes up to this VWAP area, it keeps selling off, selling off, selling off. And we even brought this up on the anchored VWAP on CrowdStrike and how it keeps coming right into this anchored VWAP here, and it's sold off hard, right? It sold off very, very hard. And so we're going to see every time it comes up here, if it wants to keep selling off, is it eventually going to push through? And you can see right here, this white line, that's the anchored VWAP from CrowdStrike. We're just pulling this from the daily's highs so we can see right where it's at. Well, the daily highs are going to be in the same correlation of this anchored VWAP right here, okay? So you can see this purple line. This is the anchored VWAP from its highs, and you can see also right here, this trend keeps wanting to make new higher lows, but it keeps running into this area of what is acting as resistance, and you can see the resistance is all the way back here from July when we started to have issues. You can see there was a basing pattern formed right here, and I can just mark this line here for you guys. You can see this basing pattern that held 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. Is this black magic? I mean, look at this thing. Here's the line, and you can see it's held the majority of the time it comes in this area. And sure enough, CrowdStrike pops right up into it and keeps selling off. So there is a fight right here in this area, So you guys need to pay attention to these areas. And this is exactly why I also pointed this out. Excuse me. Let me mute myself for a second. I couldn't find the mute button. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. Pneumonia with a P. CrowdStrike is now breaking out of that trend line here. We're going to see what it wants to do. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. It looks like it wants to break from this area, but this is a huge area of resistance for CrowdStrike. As it showed a double beat, it does want to pull back here. At least that is what my technical analysis is showing on a 1 minute time frame. Yes, we're zoomed in very far, but we're also trying to see the nuanced patterns in this conference call that's starting in 14 minutes. So if you're not aware, hello, my name is David Worrell. You're here for a CrowdStrike earnings conference call. The numbers are out. They are up top, so you don't need to ask, worry, or fret. We brought you the news. We brought it to you first, and you are very welcome. If that makes you feel at all entitled to hit a like or maybe a subscribe, please do. Nobody's going to stop you. I would love for you to do it. Myself, personally, we have an awesome show for you today. CrowdStrike earnings in 14 minutes. In 14 minutes, people, you're going to see the CEOs and all the people asking all the right questions. They're going to come out and they're going to ask the hard questions. If you pay very close attention, you're going to hear what their CEO might say for the future of CrowdStrike. Are they going to be bullish or dovish? Yeah, or bullish or dovish. Hawkish or dovish towards their earnings, kind of like we would use those same lingo with the Fed speaker, William Powell. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm losing it. And I'm all out of lemonade. Papa Powell, you know, Papa Powell. But anyway, CrowdStrike here is trading at 357.03 right now. We're going to see where this wants to head. Don't worry, guys. I have your CrowdStrike fiscal third quarter 2025 financial results conference call coming up very, very soon. We have 13 minutes. I thought they were going to start at 4 o'clock. I really did. I gave him all this shit about not being here on time. And then I looked up the right time, and sure enough, it doesn't start for another 13 minutes. So I was only an hour off there, but that's A-okay because I'm here. I'm doing my thing, and I'm doing it with you, baby. So let me know in the chat. I did a poll, and I'm really curious. There's 9 votes. 56% of you, this is your first time here. I'm pumped to have you here. Thank you so much. We love to do anything related to the stock market. If you go back and you look, we have a swing trading school. We show you trend and base breakouts. I love technical analysis. We also do some financial analysis. So if this is your first time here, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button because you are going to want to see more out of this guy and the crew that comes with it. So we have about 12 minutes. 33% of you say, no, you've been here before, but 11% of you say, I will never tell. Now, I don't know who you are, but you seem awfully secretive. Smash that like and subscribe button. CRWD now trading at 357 even with a market to be played. We are at 356.96 and 357.50. So it looks like the spread is still within 75 cents of itself, which is a good sign for that if you're trying to get into a market, but we want to see it tighter. We haven't seen it any tighter than that. So it's starting to break down here. You know, this is what I mean by technical analysis. I'm sitting here in front of a screen and I'm giving you the technical analysis, what I interpret on here. And this is exactly what we've seen. Big push up into an area of resistance, and it looks like CrowdStrike is not having it. They do not want any part of this. A part of me wants to take a short here because we broke down from this trend. We see all this wicking up top. We can see all this resistance all the way back here from July. It makes me think that CrowdStrike will want to head much, much lower if it does not get past this 364.82 area, okay? So it really does make me want to just take a tasty little trade. And I think because we are live right now, because I am trading in front of you, what I'll do just for entertainment is I will show you guys how I'm gonna do this. If we put this on good till close and we sell the ask, oh, I don't wanna do 500 shares. Ooh, thank God that didn't give it to me. We'll just do one share. So right now I put in a sell limit, good till close and extended hours for one share short at 356.09. Okay, now the only reason why I'm taking one share is this is just to follow this, just to put my money where my mouth is, and also that way I don't have to worry about the volatility. If I make $5, if I lose $5, I don't really care, but I'm doing this for your entertainment and I'm putting my money where my mouth is. So I am going to take one share short of CrowdStrike if it can get me in. If it doesn't get me in, then I don't really care. We have a 60-cent spread. Actually, it looks like a 99-cent spread. So basically a $1 spread here, guys. That's why I'm not going to just try and get what I can. I'm going to wait for this thing to pop up and try and get me in. But we'll see what happens. As the conference call is coming up very, very soon. We have less than 10 minutes, guys. Less than 10 minutes and the conference call is going to come out. While you are here, I will entertain you with a tasty little trade. Follow us for more. Our link tree is going to give you access to everything that I do socially except for my Snapchat, which we should, I don't know if you guys use, do you guys use Snapchat? I don't know. Do you guys use Snapchat? I'm still using Snapchat. I really am. And it's funny because let's take a look at Snap. Snapchat's not doing so well, which is, it's funny because I really like their app. I like what they've done with it. I like how they've integrated, and they have been integrating, different types of AI into it. But, and my kids use it. There's a lot of grown adults that use it. So I could see Snapchat doing well, but they just aren't, they just are not doing well. And it looks like it's going to start to head lower without my one share. But guys, that's part of trading. Sometimes you can't get it in, but that's A-okay. We're just sitting here. No to Snap, B. Stewie. You don't use Snapchat, B. Stewie? That's A-okay. B. Stewie, how old are you? I think we're the same age, ain't we? How old are you, dude? And there goes CrowdStrike, down it goes. As you can see, earning conference calls now popping up, guys. Hope you guys are with me. I hope you guys are doing well. Let's hear, where's the sound? All right, they got it up, so it must be starting soon. 8 minutes, 47 seconds as CrowdStrike starts to sell off here. We gave you the whole technical analysis on this. Big sell-off, big push back up, all the way back up to this area of resistance. And then boom, it smacks right into this area of resistance. It shows wicking like it wants to support, but every time it makes new higher lows and tries to go higher, it gets sold off hard into it. So I am expecting this area to be an area of resistance. I don't know how long it's going to be an area of resistance, but it's clearly an area of resistance at that 365 area. It's starting to sell off now. Now, if you're starting to hear some things in the background, that is your CrowdStrike fiscal Q3 2025 earnings. The financial result conference call is getting ready to start. So if you hear some stuff in the background, the speakers are going to be George Curtis, the Chief Executive executive. Oh, I can't talk today, guys. Help me. My throat. Help me. It's like pneumonia with a P. George Kurtz, Chief Executive Officer and Co-founder. Pert Podbeary, the Chief Financial Officer. And Mariah Riley, Vice President of Investor Relations, will all be speaking today. We have 154 views already and 29 of you guys watching. Welcome to the earnings live show. I do appreciate you being here. Yes, I signed up for the CrowdStrike fiscal Q3 2025 earnings conference call just for you. Why did I do that? It makes it easier on you, and I get to jap my jocking jaw and let you know a little bit on the insides of the information that we have for you. We look at the technical analysis of the overall trade, and here you can see we have a bit of a breakdown in CrowdStrike as we close the day at 365, right at a pinnacle area of resistance for the overall CrowdStrike ticker. And as it pulled back, every time it headed higher, it smacked into that VWAP area and started to sell back off. I see a lot of that love coming out there in the chat. Thank you so much. I'm sending it right back at you. Thank you guys so much for being here. Wooden Bell says, what's Snapchat? Do you really not know what Snapchat is? I can show you if you really don't know what Snapchat is. But you know, I have a Snapchat. This is kind of the interface of Snapchat. You can just see it here. You know, if you know, you gotta like log in and all that stuff. But Snapchat is it's kind of like it's one of those things where you take a picture and it can erase. So you know, like a lot of the younger crowd, you know, whatever they're sending, even the older crowd too, but they'll send it and then it disappears, right? You don't see it. So you feel a little bit more safe and secure with it. So yeah, let me make sure, let me just do a mic check. We want to make sure everybody can hear. Yep, I can hear me, you can hear me. We're just waiting on this fiscal Q3 earnings conference call, baby. I'm glad you guys are here. Yeah, Wooden Bell says, what's Snapchat? Man, I don't know if that is something somebody really young would say or somebody really old would say. Wooden Bell, where are you on that scale? B. Stewie says he's pushing 50 in his age. I love it, B. Stewie. I love it, dude, because you're learning quicker than the young guys in this biz. But yeah, Wooden Bell, where are you at on the scale? You know, are you closer to 50 or are you closer to 20? Let me know, man. But yeah, I've been using Snapchat for years, ever since I found it. And you know, my kids are even using it. They're 11 and 13 and they're still using it. They're worried about their Snapchat streaks and all that stuff. So, you know, excuse me for the cough. It's that pneumonia with a P. It's killing me. Oh, excuse me, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to cough in your ears today. I can't find the mute button fast enough. All right, I got it ready and set for the next one. Don't worry. No more coughing in the ears. I do apologize. All right, CrowdStrike, it's going to be starting here in 4 minutes, 48 seconds. I hope you guys are ready. You got your listening ears on because we are going to have ourselves a dandy old time. I am pumped to see what is going to happen in the overall conference, in the conference call. We're going to see if it's going to help or hurt this trend break area. I'm going to go ahead and reduce this. I'm going to take off my short. 45 years young here. Yeah, baby. Yeah, so I know, but yeah, I figured you probably knew what Snapchat was, but you don't use it, yeah. And I know B. Stewie doesn't use it either. I think I hit that middle ground. You know, I hit that middle ground where I was still there to use it, you know. Not a boomer, you know, but not a, what is before us, millennial, you know. Like right in the middle. Like I didn't have a cell phone until I was 16 years old. And I watched Rugrats. You know what I mean? Like 90s kid, baby. Like, let's go. If you can get behind that, hit that subscribe button. You know, our demographics like 30 and up too. You know, like we're closer in the 50s. So, and I like it. I like it. You know, it's a lot more chill. You know, if you had a lot of young guys in one area, it can get really volatile, right? It can get really volatile. You know, young blood boils easy. And there we go. CrowdStrike's now pulling back. It looks like that short idea was keen. We can see a trend break, and we talked about the overall technical analysis in the overall sentiment and the psychology behind this trade. And you can see a big pullback here when I initiated the short trade. That's 2.1%. Boom, bada bing, bada boom within 5 or 10 minutes there. And that's really nice. And we only got about 3 minutes and 12 seconds left. And we are going to have the earnings call out, and then I will stop yapping away. But it's good to have you in here. It's good to have you in here, guys. It's good to be here personally myself. I'm very grateful to be here and to be able to do this for you. With only 3 minutes left to go, all I got to say is if you haven't already, do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button. We got a show for you, baby, and I am pumped for you to be here, and I'd like to keep on doing this. And we are very close, guys. I'll just let you in on a little secret. We are very, very close to actually hitting what we need to hit. So I'll just show you really quick before the earning conference calls comes on. We are up to, just because I know you guys love me and you care, we'll go to the studio here. You guys can see on the bottom right. So you can see we're up to 1,317 subscribers, baby. Hell yeah. Thank you guys so much. You can see right here, if we go to the earn, you can see the watch time hours. We only need 25 more and we hit that 3,000 and we can actually start doing memberships and supers and shopping and all that cool stuff. Not that I'm so interested in it, but then we only need 1,000 more hours and I'm completely vested with YouTube. So I'm really pumped for that. And it's all because of you guys. So thank you guys so much for doing that. We'll definitely be doing more giveaways, more drawing, stuff like that. We're going to see what Dan Bob can conjure up. But yeah. Oh, you're an 80s baby, are you? Okay, cool. I like it. I like it. The webcast is going to be starting in less than 2 minutes, guys. I hope you guys are ready. Hope you guys are ready. We're going to see if CrowdStrike still got one in. Maybe one of these members, these speakers like George, Bert, or Mary can say a little something to help keep CrowdStrike above the water. Because as of right now, it looks like they are starting to drown here with all that overhead resistance. B. Stewie's, yes, baby. B. Stewie coming in. Yeah. I like that. Okay, I had to try and understand what you were saying, B. Stewie. He says, YouTube goal #1. Yeah, baby. Let's get to the top. If we can get to the top, man, I think it'd be fun to watch like the background of me progress because the more we make from this YouTube channel and from trading, the more I'm going to invest it into the YouTube channel and trading so we can make it bigger and better and more fun and better for you guys, you know, all that good stuff. With only a minute left, the CrowdStrike earnings are getting ready to start here, guys. I hope you're with me. Hope you're ready. We got it all signed up so you will hear it first. It's straight from the tap. Straight from the tap. Building a nice background now. Yeah, this is actually this is my roommate. I call her wife. This is where she works. This is where she does all of her trading. She makes more money than I do when she trades. So, you know, don't tell anybody. But I'm super jealous of her and I hate her right now. No, I'm only kidding. I love my wife. She's awesome. She's a good roommate too. She keeps it clean. She keeps it clean. But anyway, we got 31 of you guys watching. We got 10 seconds left to go. CrowdStrike earnings is going to be starting here very, very soon. I'm glad and pumped you are here with me. If you want to see more earnings just like this, hit that like and subscribe, guys. CrowdStrike is popping back up, and there's our alarm. There's our alarm. Let's go ahead and dismiss that. All right. Here we go. The earnings conference call should be starting here very, very soon. I hope you guys are ready for it. Yes, sir, Bob. I thought I heard something. Here we go. CrowdStrike now trading at 353.43. B. Stewie, with the background, I actually know how to make a floating head now, but I have to get a green. I got to get a green screen behind me, and I can do it. I actually know how to do it now. So very soon, I'm gonna check out and see how much it is for that stuff, and then see what it would cost for me to build a little roller like on some 2x4s. So that way, when I'm done with it, I can like roll it out of the way somewhere, so it's not, you know, a big nuisance. But I'll get a green screen and stuff like that back here. All right, earnings conference call getting ready to start, guys. Thank you for joining. It's gonna be starting very, very soon. Here we go, baby. It ain't gonna be long. Strap in. Here we go, baby. We got 36 of you in here. Thank you so much for joining me.
Hello and welcome to CrowdStrike's fiscal third quarter 2025 financial results conference call. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode. After the speaker's presentation, we will conduct a question and answer session. Please be advised that today's conference call is being recorded. I would now like to hand the call over to Maria Riley, Vice President of Investor Relations. Maria, please go ahead.
Good afternoon, and thank you for your participation today. With me on the call are George Kurtz, Chief Executive Officer and founder of CrowdStrike, and Burt Podbear, Chief Financial Officer. Before we get started, I would like to note that certain statements made during this conference call that are not historical facts, including those regarding our future plans, objectives, growth, including projections, and expected performance, including our outlook for the fourth quarter and fiscal year 2025, and any assumptions for the fiscal periods beyond that, are forward-looking statements within the meaning of the Private Securities Litigation Reform Act of 1995. These forward-looking statements represent our outlook only as of the date of this call. While we believe any forward-looking statements we make are reasonable, actual results could differ materially because the statements are based on current expectations and are subject to risks and uncertainties. We do not undertake and expressly disclaim any obligation to update or alter our forward-looking statements, whether as a result of new information, future events, or otherwise. Further information on these and other factors that could affect the company's financial results is included in the filings we make with the SEC from time to time, including the section titled Risk Factors in the company's quarterly and annual reports. Additionally, unless otherwise stated, excluding revenue, all financial measures disclosed on this call will be non-GAAP. A discussion of why we use non-GAAP financial measures and a reconciliation schedule showing GAAP versus non-GAAP results is currently available in our earnings press
Thanks for
release,
hitting that subscribe button.
which may be
Appreciate it.
found on our
Make sure you
investor
hit that
relations
subscribe button for
website
more earnings in the
at
future.
ir.crowdstrike.com or on our Form 8-K filed with the SEC today. With that, I will now turn the call over to George.
Thank you, Maria, and thank you all for joining our third quarter FY25 earnings call. I'd like to start today's comments by sharing 3 key themes that excite me about this quarter and our bright future. First, trust. The trust that customers, partners, and the market have in CrowdStrike. We grew ending ARR more than 27% year over year and maintained stable gross retention rates. Second, widespread platform adoption. Our Falcon Flex subscription model is supercharging Falcon platform adoption. With CrowdStrike, cybersecurity consolidation is rapid and ROI is measurable. Falcon Flex is increasing both our share of wallet and enterprise real estate, furthering CrowdStrike as cybersecurity's AI native platform of record. And third, trailblazing innovation. From cloud to device, data to Gen AI, application to identity, and compliance to resilience, our innovation disrupts legacy markets and creates new categories. CrowdStrike is leading the future of AI-powered cybersecurity. The themes of trust, platform adoption, and innovation guide CrowdStrike's customer obsession and continued strong execution. Following the Summers incident, as a company, we were tested. We responded with speed, care, and resolve, and we focused on becoming even better, continuing to deliver industry-leading cyber protection on the Falcon platform's proven, resilient, and scaled AI-native architecture. I'm encouraged by CrowdStrike's Q3 results, our first full quarter post-incident. First, ending ARR surpassed $4 billion, making CrowdStrike the fastest pure-play cybersecurity software company to achieve this reported milestone, tracking to our $10 billion ARR vision. Second, Q3 revenue surpassed $1 billion. Subscription revenue grew 31% year over year, and total revenue surpassed $1 billion for the first time in company history. Third, free cash flow of $231 million, or 23% of revenue, achieving a rule of 51 on a free cash flow basis. Fourth, we closed more than 150 Falcon Flex transactions, with these customers representing more than $600 million in total deal value. And fifth, more recently, we announced and closed the acquisition of Adaptive Shield, adding SaaS posture management to our portfolio, further differentiating and connecting the Falcon platform's cloud security suite and identity protection offerings. In addition to these achievements, I'd like to provide some perspective on what we saw in Q3. First, Falcon customers are staying with CrowdStrike as their trusted cybersecurity platform of choice. Q3 gross retention was over 97%, down less than half a percentage point. Strength in retention was driven by the value that customers receive from the Falcon platform. Second, Falcon customers are growing with us. Q3 dollar-based net retention was 115%, temporarily impacted by the incident and reflective of customers strengthening their commitment to CrowdStrike. Customers are leveraging our customer commitment package and Flex subscription model to both increase their long-term investment in CrowdStrike and increase their adoption of the Falcon platform. And third, we're seeing exceptional strength in key verticals and market segments. Healthcare saw a record quarter as providers are investing in cybersecurity's criticality based on heightened and targeted attacks. Our corporate sales team, covering organizations below 2,500 employees, had their largest quarter ever, benefiting from Falcon Flex as well as successful competitive takeouts. These successes are in the context of CrowdStrike's sustained Fortune 500 market leadership. Our track record of AI innovation and market-leading protection, delivered on our highly resilient and cybersecurity's most performant architecture, continues to resonate at scale. Our competitive win rates remain consistent to trending upwards, and our total deal size for new business trended up over the last year, which we attribute to the continuous evolution of our platform solutions across cloud security, next-gen SIEM, identity protection, data security, and AI. Our revolutionary Falcon Flex subscription model and CrowdStrike's amplified brand recognition and favorable market sentiment from our transparent and deliberate response to the summer's incident. Through it all, we remain laser-focused on innovation, which is what drives our platform differentiation, customer stickiness, and superior protection outcomes. This fall, we hosted the largest events in CrowdStrike's history, Falcon, our global flagship ecosystem event in Las Vegas, where 6,000 attendees joined us from more than 60 countries and 100 exhibiting ecosystem partners showcase their Falcon integrated solutions. More recently, we hosted our inaugural Falcon Europe in Amsterdam, where we welcomed more than 1,700 attendees from more than 50 countries and showcased nearly 40 exhibiting ecosystem partners. These events demonstrate our continued global momentum, innovation, and the strength of the Crowd, cybersecurity's ecosystem, building with, through, and around CrowdStrike. Both events generated significant pipeline. Aside from the platform innovations we announced, attendees were captivated by our novel subscription model, Falcon Flex. We announced the Falcon Flex model a year ago at Falcon 2023, and we shared at our Falcon 2024 Analyst Day that accounts that had adopted Falcon Flex represented more than $700 million in total deal value. We saw remarkable and accelerating Falcon Flex adoption in Q3, bolstered by our customer commitment packages, with over 150 Falcon Flex deals in the quarter. Unpacking this momentum, we did 2 Falcon Flex deals every business day of the quarter on average. Accounts that have adopted the Falcon Flex model now represent more than $1.3 billion of total deal value, with the average Falcon Flex subscription being multiples larger than our typical contract value. Flex customers enjoy preferred pricing for both their contracted modules as well as other current and future modules in our portfolio. And it all comes with the flexibility of access to the products they want when they're needed. Through Flex, platform consolidation is rapid and ROI is real. Falcon Flex also became the key delivery mechanism for our customer commitment package. We've already worked through a significant number of CCPs, with the remainder to be concluded in the upcoming quarters. We see Falcon Flex deal volume accelerating. Flex has ushered in a new tempo of module adoption. We've seen customers accelerate their platform demand plans across our existing as well as new products. For example, upon announcing Adaptive Shield, we had a slew of Flex customers eagerly asking if they could use their Flex dollars for Adaptive Shield SSPM adoption. Flex enables us to rapidly commercialize innovation, whether organic or acquired, across our global sales team and partner network. Flex is already proving to be a rapid platform adoption accelerator across the customer base, giving us confidence in net new ARR acceleration in the back half of next year. Flex also broadens the customer audience for CrowdStrike as a whole. We've talked about cybersecurity moving from the back room to the boardroom. With Flex, we've expanded our customer stakeholder audience to include the CFO. The Flex subscription model aligns cybersecurity investment and more specifically platform consolidation with measurable dollars and cents. And with CrowdStrike Financial Services, we bring even more tangible financial value to CFOs, deepening our relationship and relevance to this increasingly important CXO persona.
CrowdStrike trading at
As we
351.50.
steadily engage with more CFOs over
351.
the past year, the feedback has been
352.15.
resoundingly consistent. With Falcon Flex, CFOs can see the economic benefits of platform consolidation. The Flex model solves today's customer needs while seeding future growth. Flex customers demonstrate the following Falcon platform characteristics. More Falcon platform adoption. Flex customers on average have adopted more than 9 modules, and we expect to see these numbers continue to rise. Faster Falcon platform adoption. All of our Flex licensing has happened in the past 12 months. In looking at this customer cohort, the amount of adoption we've seen at speed and scale is encouraging. With Flex, we have seen some customers more than double or even more than triple their module adoption. Increased investment in CrowdStrike. Flex has allowed us to increase our share of wallet, consolidating multiple point product vendors. Looking at Q3, the average CrowdStrike customer spent hundreds of thousands, while the average Flex customer spent multi-millions. At the same time, Flex seamlessly takes cost out of cybersecurity programs, eliminating organizational and product inefficiencies from the long list of legacy, disjointed point product cybersecurity tools. Alongside Falcon Flex's success and larger transactions overall was the announcement of CrowdStrike Financial Services, CFS, our financing arm that aligns customer cybersecurity and cash flow objectives. CFS gives customers financial flexibility while driving larger deals, faster deal cycles, and longer subscription duration. In our first quarter of CFS, we closed more than $49 million in deal value, including 2 8-figure deals. Here are a few Flex noteworthy wins. An 8-figure expansion deal with a Fortune 500 travel leader who sought CCP pricing to do more with CrowdStrike, growing their spend with us by over $15 million. Despite impact from the summer's incident, our response and partner-assisted recovery solidified trust and inspired increased Falcon investment from the board to executives to the cybersecurity team. Through Flex, this customer expanded their Falcon demand plan to include Falcon Cloud Security, File Integrity Monitoring, Firewall Management, and Data Protection, going from 8 modules to 14 modules in a single Flex transaction. An 8-figure new logo land with a Global 2000 technology manufacturer, where Falcon displaced legacy AV, a legacy SIM, and a legacy vulnerability management product. Through Flex, the customer was able to go all in on the Falcon platform for EDR, Next-Gen SIM, Falcon Complete MDR, Identity Protection, Threat Intelligence, and Exposure Management, consolidating 4 vendors in this initial Flex purchase. Consolidation goals achieved, protection outcomes delivered, and platform adoption success. Closing off on Falcon Flex, customers are spending more, entering into longer subscription terms, and taking the opportunity to achieve their consolidation objectives faster. We expect to see faster and larger ARR uplift over time through the Falcon Flex model, aligning the industry's leading cybersecurity platform with our revolutionary subscription model is a lightning in a bottle combination for current and future growth. Next, I'd like to share our innovation progress where we're trailblazing new cybersecurity outcomes across cloud security, identity protection, and next-gen SIM, in addition to our data, AI, and IT investments.
CrowdStrike trading
We're
at
incredibly
353.
excited by the innovation taking place within both our cloud and identity
353.
businesses. We recently announced the acquisition of Adaptive Shield, a leading vendor in the fast-growing SaaS security posture management, or SSPM market. Adaptive Shield builds on our AI leadership, giving us unmatched coverage of the rapidly growing SaaS threat plane, with more than 150 native integrations across everything from CRM tools to cloud backup to workforce productivity. More importantly, Adaptive Shield slots in perfectly as a complement to both our cloud and identity security businesses, with multiple integrations already completed. Another example of CrowdStrike charting the course ahead of the market. Within cloud security, the combination of Adaptive Shield with our core Falcon cloud security functionality gives us the broadest cloud security ecosystem coverage.
All right, guys, look at
This
this.
move
This might be a
builds on
fake
both
wick,
our
but I need to
organic
point out to you right now,
developments as well as
364.30 right
the
now for
recent
CrowdStrike.
acquisition of Bionic
Big
and
pop on
Flow.
volume too. You can
With
see we went
Adaptive
from
Shield,
354 to
CrowdStrike is the only
364 and now right
platform
back
delivering
down,
an
smacking into
end-to-end
that
cloud
resistance
security
area.
suite
Pay
with
close
runtime
attention
at
to
the
this,
center
folks.
of everything, from code, data, and now SaaS to runtime. And with Adaptive Shield, we further enhance our ability to secure the enterprise's prolific adoption of AI. CrowdStrike pioneered the use of AI for security through our on-sensor model and threat graph, and pioneered the use of Gen AI for improving SOC analyst workflows through Charlotte AI. We've also recently introduced bespoke services for AI security, pen testing AI models to reduce exposure, weaknesses, and data leakage risk. At CrowdStrike, we deliver both AI for security and security for AI. While our recently launched AI SPM offering enables organizations to secure the adoption of AI within their cloud infrastructure, Adaptive Shield works by protecting the enterprise from Gen AI risk. As more employees look to leverage Gen AI tools for their everyday workflows, data leakage, data theft, and adversary espionage are on the rise. The combination of AI, SPM, and Adaptive Shield gives our customers more holistic AI protection from code to runtime and now to the end user. AI-powered cloud security wins in the quarter include a unicorn AI leader that took their Falcon deployment to the next level in an 8-figure Falcon cloud security expansion deal. Growing their cloud security footprint rapidly over the last few years, the combination of workload protection, as well as our CSPM, CIEM, and more recently our posture management for AI, data, and applications solidified our position as this company's cloud security consolidator of choice. Once again, this customer set a new largest transaction record for our corporate sales team. A Fortune 50 retailer expanded in an 8-figure deployment of Falcon Cloud Security. Seeing the difference that runtime protection makes, we seamlessly expanded from being the company's EDR vendor of choice to its cybersecurity platform of record for the cloud and AI era. Falcon Cloud Security goes well beyond narrow CSPM use cases and associated alert fatigue. Falcon completes CDR made securing their expansive multi-cloud and hybrid cloud estate the easy and frictionless choice. Within identity protection, Adaptive Shield builds on our continued organic innovation. Since launching our identity protection module, CrowdStrike has always had best-in-class coverage of Active Directory environments. However, with Adaptive Shield, CrowdStrike is now capable of securing identity where potentially malicious user behavior takes place. Whether on-device, in the cloud, or in a SaaS application, CrowdStrike offers holistic protection across critical identity touchpoints. And we're just getting started. We recently announced support of Microsoft Entra ID, formerly Azure Active Directory, making CrowdStrike capable of securing the rapidly emerging identity threat vector for all Microsoft customers, from highly regulated enterprises to born-in-the-cloud AI disruptors. Here's a representative identity win from the quarter. A Fortune 500 new logo in the travel and hospitality space saw the difference that our robust identity protection technology makes in stopping prolific e-crime actors. Replacing a patchwork of legacy technologies, we were able to showcase the differentiation of Falcon identity protection to land a sizable platform win across identity, EDR, next-gen SIEM, and threat intelligence. Falcon Next-Gen SIEM has been a game changer, and we're experiencing a hyper-growth inflection point. While we provide more granular detail during our Q2 and Q4 earnings calls, Next-Gen SIEM performed exceptionally well this quarter, with net new ARR growth accelerating to over 150% year over year at multi-$100 million scale. With 30 million Fusion SOAR workflows per week and over 2,000 Next-Gen SIEM customers, Falcon Next-Gen SIEM is quickly becoming our customers' data foundation. We've introduced several new groundbreaking features. AI-generated parsers take the guesswork and learning curve out of integrating third-party data sources into Next-Gen SIM. AI Investigator accelerates query speed and flattens analyst learning curves through a Gen AI-powered query builder. And AI Alert Triage automates end-to-end workflows at the speed of AI. Yet the core differentiation for Next-Gen SIM remains unchanged. Unmatched speed and scalability at an unmatched cost with Falcon data natively resident from the start. This is why more and more customers are ditching their legacy SIM vendors for CrowdStrike. Next-Gen SIM customer wins in the quarter include an 8-figure major national healthcare provider that replaced a competing SIM, expanding their Falcon usage with Next-Gen SIM. Using CrowdStrike Financial Services, we were able to close a sizable 7-year deal. Working across the customer C-suite, specifically with the CFO, we align cybersecurity innovation with cost reduction, platform consolidation with protection outcomes, and payment terms with ROI, delivering 8 figures of customer business value benefits within 3 years of purchase. CrowdStrike is now firmly rooted as the organization's cybersecurity data platform of choice. A near 8-figure expansion deal with a Fortune 500 manufacturing giant where we replaced a hyperscaler SIM in a competitive deal against several SIM vendors. Multiple consoles and a lack of security workflows created inefficiencies for this customer. The transaction was also an opportune time to grow with CrowdStrike, purchasing Charlotte AI and Threat Intelligence as SIM enhancements, as well as other modules such as data protection. Having a single console and a single platform continues to differentiate Falcon customer experiences. All the while, our innovation investments continue to grow and show promise. Let me first talk about CrowdStrike's AI innovation and the progress we're making with Charlotte, our AI agent. Much like peer companies, ServiceNow and Salesforce, we're using advanced AI models to deliver proactive and autonomous outcomes. Charlotte AI is capable of taking actions based upon observed data to achieve specific security goals. Going well beyond the capabilities of a chatbot, Charlotte addresses a critical skills gap in human capital need by automating detection triage, traditionally a labor-intensive process for all security personnel. Charlotte AI Detection Triage announced that Falcon eliminates a significant amount of routine EDR investigation tasks. Charlotte continues to evolve through customer use, leveraging the Falcon platform's unique data advantage, CrowdStrike's highly curated threat data, and high-fidelity security events. We had a record triple-digit growth quarter for Charlotte AI, fueled by customer demand for increased time savings and workflow automation. Data security, with our largest data security quarter to date, driven by customer desire to replace legacy DLP without additional overhead. Falcon for IT, we're seeing continued demand from large enterprises seeking to unify security and IT management while eliminating vendors to further their consolidation objectives. The Falcon platform continues to resonate at scale with partners of all types. In Q3, nearly 70% of our new subscription business was partner-sourced, illustrating the commitment and stickiness of our winning partner ecosystem. Our GSI partners are building next-gen SIM practices across the world. Our hyperscaler partners are seeing CrowdStrike records, with AWS marketplace transaction values up more than 100% year over year as organizations pursue their Falcon Flex licensing on their hyperscaler platforms of choice. Our technology partners continue to win with us. We announced a strategic partnership with Fortinet, the global firewall market share leader by shipments. We're already seeing Fortinet take us into their accounts, and we're doing the same. Helping us reach the long tail of SMBs, our MSSP business continues to.
CrowdStrike is currently at 353. 353. Please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Thank you.
And lastly, in Q3, SHI became our 4th billion-dollar partner, bringing the Falcon platform to their customers. This is highlighted by their success bringing next-gen SIM, cloud security, identity protection, and Falcon Complete MDR to market. We ended Q3 with deal registrations up year over year, a marked turnaround from incident levels. Our business results speak to the conviction partners have in the Falcon platform and the multi-TAM transformation opportunity that only CrowdStrike offers. Our continued market and technology leadership isn't only recognized by customers and partners, it is also lauded by industry analysts. Several recent noteworthy accolades include: 1, the Gartner Magic Quadrant for Endpoint Protection. Even after the summer, CrowdStrike was placed highest for ability to execute and furthest for vision in the whole Magic Quadrant, ahead of all competitors in every dimension. 2, in Gartner's critical capabilities, CrowdStrike earned the highest scores ahead of all vendors evaluated in both core endpoint protection and managed security services for the second year in a row. 3, Falcon Cloud Security was recognized as a Frost Radar leader in cloud workload protection platforms for the second consecutive year, ahead of CSPM startups and industry peers. 4, Attack Surface Management was positioned as a leader in the Q3 2024 Forrester Wave, showcasing our emergence in a new market category with significant TAM opportunity. And 5, Falcon Next Gen SIEM was named a major player in the latest SIEM IDC MarketScape, underscoring our success displacing legacy SIEMs. In closing, customer and partners remain firmly committed to CrowdStrike as their cybersecurity platform of record. Our Flex licensing model delivers accelerated platform adoption, and Falcon innovation isn't stopping. These themes set up a Q4 of continued progress and an upcoming year of back half net new ARR acceleration growth. Our future is bright. A vivid example that struck me this past quarter is the scale and consistency at which we're doing substantial transactions. We set a new record of $1 million plus transactions, closing more than 260 this quarter, equating to an average of 4 or more $1 million plus deals every business day. Results like these demonstrate the customer conviction, partner commitment, and market sentiment for CrowdStrike as cybersecurity's innovation leader and security platform of record. Before turning the call over to Burt, I would like to thank all CrowdStrikers for their dedication to our mission of stopping breaches, our partners for helping us win and continuing to build large businesses with us, and of course, our customers for their commitment and unwavering trust in CrowdStrike. I'll now turn the call over to our CFO, Burt Podbere.
Thank you, George, and good afternoon, everyone. As a quick reminder, unless otherwise noted, all numbers except revenue mentioned during my remarks today are non-GAAP. We delivered third quarter results above our stated expectations across all guided metrics. Our third quarter results reflect our focused execution and relentless customer-first mindset, which drove a strong finish and quarter-over-quarter increase in pipeline, despite continued headwinds and a pause in pipeline generation at the start of the quarter following July 19th. In Q3, ending ARR surpassed the $4 billion milestone, growing 27% year over year to reach $4.02 billion, of which $153 million was net new added in the quarter. As expected, the July 19th incident resulted in near-term headwinds to net new ARR as we experienced extended sales cycles with both existing and prospective customers and one-time incentives offered through our customer commitment packages, which resulted in increased contraction and muted upsell rates. Sales cycles increased by approximately 15% year over year within enterprise accounts. As of last Friday, we closed more than half of the push deals that had remained open at the time of our Q2 call. While we normally recognize ARR contraction in the quarter a transaction is subject to renew, in Q3 FY 2025, we excluded approximately $26 million from ARR after a distributor in the federal space provided notice of its intention to exercise transferability rights with respect to a transaction, and we concluded that the transaction would not recur. In compliance with US GAAP revenue recognition rules, this transaction remains in revenue. In total, our Q3 dollar-based gross retention rate of over 97% held resilient with less than half a percentage point decrease from Q2's strong performance. And given the July 19th incident, we are also pleased with our Q3 dollar-based net retention rate of 115% as customers embraced our customer commitment packages, and more of the Falcon platform. We estimate that customer commitment packages impacted net new ARR by approximately $25 million in Q3 within our expectations. The majority of deal value that closed in the quarter with customer commitment packages included additional product or flex dollars rather than extended time and professional services. That, coupled with the timing and linearity of in-quarter Q3 revenue, limited the impact to Q3 revenue and contributed to the strong revenue beat in the quarter. Our customer commitment packages are helping fuel an increase in platform and module adoption. Subscription customers with 5, 6, and 7 or more modules grew to 66, 47, and 31% of subscription customers, respectively. Notably, we reached a new milestone for module adoption in the quarter as customers with 8 or more modules grew to 20% of subscription customers. This momentum in increased module adoption and our Falcon Flex program gives us confidence in our customer commitment strategy and ability to re-accelerate net new ARR growth starting in the back half of fiscal year 2026. Moving to the P&L, total revenue grew 29% over Q3 of last year to reach $1.01 billion, ahead of our expectations and our first quarter exceeding the billion-dollar milestone. Subscription revenue grew 31% over Q3 of last year to reach $962.7 million, and professional services revenue was $47.4 million. Total gross margin of 78% was flat year over year, and subscription gross margin remained strong at 80% of revenue. Total non-GAAP operating expenses in the third quarter were $591.7 million, compared to $436.1 million in the prior year. As outlined in our last earnings call, we continued to invest in our FY 2025 plan and bolstered our R&D, quality assurance, and customer support programs. In the third quarter, non-GAAP operating income grew 11% year over year to $194.9 million, and operating margin was 19%. GAAP net loss attributable to CrowdStrike was $16.8 million, primarily due to $33.9 million in expenses related to the July 19th incident. Non-GAAP net income
they lost a
attributable
lot
to
of money.
CrowdStrike grew 18% to $234.3 million, or 93 cents on a diluted per share basis. Cash and cash equivalents grew to $4.26 billion. Free cash flow was $230.6 million, or 23% of revenue, and was impacted by the July 19th incident, as well as planned investments in data center and workload optimization, R&D, and sales and marketing. Additionally, the $49 million in deals financed through CrowdStrike Financial Services had a de minimis impact to Q3 free cash flow as expected. Turning to our outlook, we are encouraged by our continued high dollar-based gross retention rate, success of our customer commitment packages with customers opting for more product or flex dollars, the continued strong adoption of the Falcon platform and growing module adoption rates, and quarter-over-quarter growth in pipeline. All of these positive indicators give us confidence in our ability to re-accelerate net new ARR growth starting in the back half of FY 2026. However, in the near term, visibility remains limited given the headwinds related to the July 19th incident that we outlined last quarter, including the delay of the vast majority of outbound pipeline generation activities for a few weeks following the July 19th incident, extended sales cycles for both new and existing customers, and continued deployment of customer commitment packages, resulting in muted upsell rates and potentially higher than typical levels of contraction. While in Q3, customers strongly embraced the additional modules and flex options associated with our customer commitment packages rather than additional time, it is still too early to determine if that trend will remain the same in Q4. Recognizing our continued reduced visibility, we are maintaining our estimated impact of approximately $30 million to both net new ARR
We're
and
starting to see a
subscription
pullback
revenue in
now.
Q4.
Starting to see a
from our customer
pullback right
commitment
now
packages.
in CrowdStrike
As
down
we
to
discussed last
346.88.
quarter, the aforementioned
Just as we
revenue
talked
are
about, that
additive to
resistance
the
at
expected
366
quantified
is
impact.
showing fruitful.
While we do not typically comment on analyst estimates, we wanted to note that the vast majority of analysts are
347.
modeling Q3 to Q4 net new ARR seasonality well above historical levels. We request that you keep historical sequential seasonality in mind when updating your models. Additionally, as we discussed last quarter, the modeling of ARR and subscription revenue should be decoupled in the short term given the customer commitment packages.
Subscription revenue
Our Falcon
declining. He just said
2024
subscription
investor
revenue
presentation
declining.
has additional details on this dynamic. Moving beyond the top line, we
Dropping
expect
hard
to
now.
incur
CrowdStrike
additional
dropping down to
GAAP tax
347.
expense in Q4 of approximately $58 million due to previous acquisitions. Additionally, we closed our acquisition of Adaptive Shield last week, which is expected to have a 1 to 2 cent impact to non-GAAP EPS, as reflected in our Q4 guidance.
Now breaking the 10-day
Moving to
moving
cash,
average, breaking down to
We expect
345,
Q4
guys.
free cash flow to
345. That
reflect
short
a
was a great
significantly
short.
more pronounced July 19th impact in comparison to Q3. This is due to collections impacted by increased flexible payment terms under customer commitment packages for deals closed in Q3, the incremental sales compensation expenses, and the timing and size of G&A costs, all relating to July 19th. As a result, we do not expect to see sequential free cash flow margin leverage in Q4. We continue to expect CrowdStrike Financial Services to have a de minimis impact to free cash flow in Q4. We remain committed to achieving $10 billion in ending ARR by the end of fiscal year 2031 and achieving our target non-GAAP operating model on an annual basis by fiscal year 2029, which includes a free cash flow margin target between 34 and 38%.
Wow, guys.
Moving to our guidance, for the fourth quarter of FY 2025,
Here comes the guidance.
we expect total revenue to be in the range of $1,028.7 to $1,035.4 million, reflecting a year-over-year growth rate of 22%. We expect non-GAAP income from operations to be in the range of $184.0 to $189.0 million, and non-GAAP net income attributable to CrowdStrike to be in the range of $210.9 to $215.8 million. We expect diluted non-GAAP net income per share attributable to CrowdStrike to be approximately 84 to 86 cents, utilizing a weighted average share count of approximately 252 million shares on a diluted basis. For
We're
the
dropping
full
quick
fiscal
now.
year
344.
2025,
We're down to
we currently
344 in
expect total
CrowdStrike.
revenue to be in the range of $3,923.8 to $3,930.5 million, reflecting a growth rate of 28 to 29% over the prior fiscal year. Non-GAAP income from operations is expected to be between $804.4 and $809.4 million. We expect fiscal 2025 non-GAAP net income attributable to CrowdStrike to be between $937.5 and $942.6 million. Utilizing approximately 251 million weighted average shares on a diluted basis, we expect non-GAAP net income per share attributable to CrowdStrike to be in the range of $3.74 to $3.76. George and I will now take your questions.
Okay, here come the questions, guys. That guidance was absolute garbage.
Thank
They're
you.
basically
If you'd like
begging
to ask a question,
investors to please stay with them. Please keep in mind the quarter over quarter when you're doing your analysts. So pay attention to these questions, guys, because obviously just a simple something like that can drop us another $10. So pay attention.
That you may unmute yourself. In the interest of time, participants will be limited to one question.
Please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. We do this for absolutely $0. We also have a Discord and a Facebook. Click that link tree, hit that like and subscribe if you're loving this as much as I am. Thank you for being here, guys.
Hello, Sackett, are you there?
Here we go. Looks like they're having some communication
Operator, is he
problems
there?
right now.
If not, please go to the next
Yes.
question. Okay, great.
Not a
Okay,
problem.
here we
We will
go.
move forward with the next question.
No, wait, he's
Hey guys,
there.
can you hear me?
Yeah, hi,
Oh,
Sackett.
There we go.
apologies.
There we go.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. Absolutely. So, George, maybe for you, lots of helpful detail. I wanted to start out just zooming out a little bit. you spend a lot of time with customers. I guess the question is, what are they telling you about some of the puts and takes to security spending next year? I mean, you've got plenty of tailwinds like lower interest rates and potentially a better macro, but also different policies out of the federal government. So how do you think about those factors as you maybe gauge the health of security spending next year?
Sure. Thanks, Saket. I think if you're, and everyone probably is following some of the news, you see the security environment is only getting worse. E-crime groups have been prolific, and we continue to see ransomware and extortionware be very, very successful for big dollars. So from a security environment perspective, customers want the best products. They want the best platform. They want something that's going to stop the breach and be most effective. That hasn't changed. Two, they want to consolidate. This hasn't changed either. This complexity normally breeds inconsistencies and seams in protection gaps within multiple technologies. So a broad platform approach is something that aids in stopping the breach. And they want to drive down their overall operational cost. And that hasn't changed. And I don't think that is going to change based upon my interactions with companies in the coming year. So, we'll see how it all unfolds, but we're certainly encouraged by the forward-looking environment based upon just what we see. And companies, whether it's the threat environment or regulatory pressures, they're going to have to spend money on the best technologies. And, we're certainly going to be there to be able to capitalize on it.
Very helpful. Thanks, guys.
Our next question comes from Hamza Fodderwala with Morgan Stanley. Please unmute your line and ask your question.
Great. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Great. Good evening. Thank you so much for taking my question. Bert, maybe for you, just to comment on the ARR or net new ARR seasonality that you spoke about for Q4. If I look at the last few years, last Q4 we had a pretty strong budget flush, pretty strong Q4 overall. The year before that, I think it was a bit more muted. When you speak on Q4 net new ARR seasonality this year, is that assuming that budget flush that we saw a year ago, or something similar to what we saw maybe 2 years ago? Thank you.
Hi, Hamza. Thanks for your question. So when we think about Q4, I talked about some of the things that impact us, and certainly one of them is the limited visibility that we have. It's just too early to tell. We have a lot of things that are going to be in play for Q4. The continued CCP packages that we have, and with that, it just limits our visibility in terms of how we think about Q4. Generally, it is, of course, our biggest quarter, and we have the most that's subject to renew, but we still need to sell through it.
Our next question comes from Brian Essex.
343.51. Please consider hit that like and subscribe button for more earnings.
Hi, good
like
afternoon, and thanks for
subscribe.
taking the question. George, great to see the durability of the gross retention rates, particularly in light of the event of July 19th. Is there anything that you can call out in terms of trends that you're seeing as you're speaking with customers, both on the churn side, like what tend to be some of the themes of customers that are churning off, and then also on the better adoption side, what are some of the more durable factors that are leading to better adoption rates on the platform? Thank you.
Thank you, and good question. As you probably know, I spend a lot of my time with the larger customers and really haven't had a lot of conversations around churn. And the conversations that I have had have been a recognition that we do have the best technology in the market, and a recognition of how we handled the July 19th outage. And I think that's an area where we turn crisis into a customer trust building opportunity. And we're of course we're trying to make it right for customers. So from my perspective, I certainly haven't seen a lot in the larger to mid-size deals. In fact, our corporate business, as I called out, had the best quarter ever. So from a churn perspective, you could see some churn in the very small MSP space. It's an area where it really doesn't matter the vendor. It's easy to kind of move in and out. But I'm encouraged by the conversation that I'm having with our largest customers, and a reflection on the fact that they realize that we have the best tech in the industry, and the ability to stop breaches and drive down their overall operational costs from a platform perspective. Next.
Our next question comes from Patrick Colville with Scotiabank. Please unmute your line and ask your question.
Hey, team. Thank you so much for taking my question. I guess I want to ask George. 2024 was the year of co-pilots, including Charlotte AI. In your prepared remarks, George, you talked about kind of detection triage. I guess, the topic du jour amongst the investment community is agentic AI. You didn't mention that in your prepared remarks. So I guess how is CrowdStrike thinking about, internal usage of agentic AI or possibly the ability for agentic AI to help CrowdStrike's customers? Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Patrick. And I covered that a bit in the prepared remarks in the fact that Charlotte AI was built to be something more than a co-pilot. We probably built it before it even had a term, which is now fashionable agentic AI. And the whole idea with Charlotte AI was not only to take the collective wisdom of CrowdStrike over the last decade, all of our threat indicators, all of the sort of workflows that we've created around triaging events, and answer those questions, but go beyond that to actually do work on behalf of a customer. So today, and it's the way we built it, it actually will do work on behalf of customers. And that's the entire piece of SOC transformation. And just to give you an example, we talked about alert triage and some of those things in the prepared remarks, but we had a customer that would take 4 days to create what's called a SITREP, a situational report. And that manually they would create these reports. It now takes them 1 hour. So that's the level of efficiency that we're seeing with Charlotte. And you couldn't do that if it was just a chatbot. It's the agentic nature of Charlotte AI. And that's what we're delivering to customers. Internally, we're certainly leveraging a lot of what our great partners put together, whether that's Salesforce or ServiceNow or what have you. There's many technologies that we leverage, including many of the Gen AI technologies to help us create greater efficiencies.
Our next question comes from Tal Liani with Bank of America. Please unmute your line and ask your question.
Hello. Thank you.
344.50 currently for CrowdStrike, 344.50.
Net new ARR was not bad at 150, given that we had 250 before the outage. There's some people expected even it to be negative, and I hear you now on 4Q cautious again. And the question is, how are the factors changing in 4Q? Meaning, you said that you have a big renewal quarter. Outside of the renewal, or can you speak about, for example, what was your experience with renewals this past quarter? I would have thought that 4Q would be better than 3Q just because we don't have an outage in the middle. So it eliminates these 10 days or 14 days that people were kind of unclear about what's happening.
Yes.
So I want to understand how 4Q changes and why wouldn't 4Q be actually better than 3Q? Thanks.
Depending on how they answer this, guys.
Thanks, Tal. So, although true that we are a little further from the sun, we're still kind of fighting through the incident. But I'll give you some additional color in terms of the things that I went through when I thought about, Q4, and I talked a little bit about, limited visibility with Hamza. So one is, when we think about, what happened, shortly after the incident, the delay of the vast majority of our outbound pipeline generating activities for the first few weeks following that incident, that certainly has an impact for Q4. So that's one. I think we're still going to see extended sales cycles for both new and existing customers. I think customers, have additional scrutiny, additional layers of approvals, all that sort of thing. And I think, we're going to continue to deploy customer commitment packages. This is going to result in, muted upsell rates and potentially higher than typical levels of contraction. You factor all those things together, and I still want to be, mindful of those things taking place and, the activities that the sales team has to do to sell through all of that. Well, I'll add a couple of other things. So while, in Q3, customers strongly embrace the additional modules and flex options associated with the CCPs, rather than additional time, it is still too early to determine if that trend will remain the same for Q4. I want to give caution in terms of what customers are going to choose with respect to CCP. We don't know yet. We had 1 quarter. And so, that really impacts our ability to really understand what's going to happen in the dynamics in Q4. And then finally, I do want to talk about the fact that we are maintaining our estimated impact of approximately $30 million to both net new ARR and subscription revenue in Q4 from our customer commitment packages. And remember, the two of those, you have to decouple both of them. And we talked about that, last quarter, and we talked about it in our Falcon 2024 investor presentation, and it has the details on that dynamic.
Seems like he avoided that.
Our next question comes from Joel Fishbein with Truist. Please
I
unmute
think he
your line
avoided
and
that
ask your
question,
question.
guys.
Thanks for taking the question. I guess one for Bert. Bert, on the Falcon Flex, it obviously it sounded like it was ahead of your guys' expectations in terms of adoption. The one thing that I didn't get, which I'd love from you, is the average deal term or duration of those deals. That'd be really helpful. Really appreciate it.
Hey, Joel. Thanks for the question. We didn't give a specific number, but we did see deals being slightly longer, and that excited us for sure.
Our next question comes from Gabriela Borges.
The current price is at $343.99, guys. $344 for CrowdStrike. Currently, with an earnings guidance, the market doesn't care for.
I wanted to connect the dots here on what you're saying about Falcon Flex and the potential for reacceleration next year. Is there anything you're seeing in the Falcon Flex cohorts post July 19th versus those before July 19th in terms of average ARR increases, average deal sizes, et cetera, that would lead you to think that the conversion rates or the upsell rates on today's Falcon Flex deals could look different a year from now versus the baseline that you already have?
Hi, Gabriela. So I talked a little bit about the fact that we've seen deals being slightly larger, which is great. Still too early to tell, what's going to happen, as these renewals come due. But, certainly it goes back to how we already thought about this and how we talked about it last quarter with respect to seeding the future and, having the ability to do upsells on the renewal and getting customers to, enjoy us more and wanting to use more. We had over 150 Falcon Flex deals, and that's a great number. And then I think that we had accounts at the end of the day, the accounts that have adopted the Falcon Flex model now represent more than 1.
We're close to breaking these lows at 342.50. Please be careful there at these lows, 342.50.
Than our typical contract value. So those are important takeaways. Flex customers on average have adopted more than 9 modules. So if you factor all those things together, we get encouraged again by, reacceleration in the back half of next year.
Our next question comes from Matt Hedberg with RBC. Please unmute your line and ask your question.
Thanks, guys. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Thanks, guys. Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. Great. George, question for you. You talked about next-gen SIEM in the prepared remarks. It was really good to hear the growth that you're seeing there. I guess I'm wondering, what are you seeing really from a competitive perspective? I think we all are thinking that there's a good opportunity there. But just wondering about that. And then, if what are pushing some customers to change, I guess, is ultimately the question.
Yeah, I think when you look at the next-gen SIEM market, and one of the things that we really, again, helped, I would say, create and pioneer, it's, greater efficiencies, speed and scalability, which is just not available in legacy products. The fact that we can basically give immediate outcomes because it's all built into our system, right? This is the concept of first-party data, which comes from CrowdStrike and third-party data. Well, we've created an incredible ecosystem and opened up the platform now where these workflows can be done within the Falcon platform and then aided by Charlotte AI. So customers are putting more and more data into the technologies, and they're seeing the performance and the speed and maybe even more importantly, the cost differences between some of the legacy providers that are out there. And, we go into a POV and we go through all of the stats and, people kind of scratch their heads sometimes and go, okay, prove it. And then when we get through it, they're like, we've never seen anything this fast or performant or get the outcome that we're looking for. So we're really excited about it. We keep broadening the ecosystem there. And I think it represents a tremendous opportunity for us in the short, medium, and long term. It's a huge business, next gen SIM, and we're going to be front and center in it.
Our next question comes from Andy Nowinski with Wells Fargo. Please unmute your line and ask your question.
Okay, good evening. Thanks for taking the question. And first off, congrats on getting through what was likely
CrowdStrike at 343.43.
So I wanted to ask a question on Falcon Flex. Yeah, I know you booked 1.3 billion in deals, and you talked about how it's supercharging the adoption of your platform. But if I'm thinking about it correctly, I would think it's also supercharging your customer retention rates, because as customers deploy more modules, like you said, it seems like it makes it increasingly difficult to leave the platform. So I guess first, am I thinking about that correctly in terms of customer retention? And are you factoring in any improvement to NRR due to Falcon Flex going forward?
Well, I'll take the first part, and then Bert, you can feel free to chime in. It absolutely makes the platform stickier. The more modules, we know this is a fact, the more modules customers use, the stickier the platform becomes. And you're talking 9, 10. We talked about, I think, 1 of 14. That's incredibly sticky because a lot of processes are built around that. So from our perspective, it is a great opportunity for customers and for us. Makes it stickier. They get a better value. And, again, what we're seeing is, in general, we're seeing customers adopt more faster, right? Which, if they adopt more and faster, that gives us the opportunity to go back in and top up those Falcon Flex pools. So we are excited about the licensing mechanism. Customers are. We talked about Adaptive Shield. The day we announced that, we were at Falcon Europe, and customers said, okay, if I'm a Falcon Flex customer, can I use it day one when it closes? And we're like, yeah, as soon as we close the deal and we get it skewed up, you'll be able to use it, which again removes a lot of friction and aids in the adoption. So anything to add, Bert?
Yeah, I think all the things that George said gives us more confidence in our ability to reaccelerate in the back half of next year.
Our next question comes from Greg Moskowitz from Mizuho. Please unmute your line and ask your question.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Your RPO growth accelerated quite strongly this quarter, and your RPO bookings growth, which at least by our estimates is greater than 60%, that appears to be the highest we've seen since fiscal 2022. Now, clearly the customer commitment packages and Flex had a significant impact here. And so I guess with that in mind, it'd just be helpful, Bert, to get your perspective on A, how the CRPO performance was, and B, how we should generally be thinking about what these strong bookings might mean for revenue recognition and ARR when we look down the road. Thanks.
Thanks, Greg. So I think ultimately when we think about RPO and we think about the increase, it does talk to just longer deals, longer duration. I think all the things that we've talked about, whether it's CCP, whether it's CrowdStrike Financial Services, they all add in terms of helping customers do more with us for longer periods of time, and that's reflected in our RPO number.
Our next call comes from John DiFucci with Guggenheim. Please unmute your line and ask your question.
Oh, thanks for taking my question. Bert, listen, you've always been really clear, which has, I think, been great for investors and great for the stock too. In ARR, it has always, and revenue have always been had a great connection over time. Can you, and I know there's some small print, can you explain to us what's making this coupling diverge? And I don't know, hopefully it's not a long explanation. That's probably why you haven't said it. But can you do that? Can you give us even if it's temporary here? Because I don't want to see my models works great for you, and you're the first ones to do this, and it's really clear, and you put it right out there for everybody to see. But why is that going to diverge, or why could it diverge in the short term?
So thanks, John. So number one, for all your comments, appreciate all your comments that you made. So first, big picture, it's temporary. The divergence is temporary. And I think it just talks to when you have a CCP and out of the gate, there's, for example, extended time that's offered. There's going to be a more immediate hit on ARR than revenue. It's going to lag. And so that's how we think about it. And that's how I've tried to be clear on explaining it. Hopefully that helps, John.
Thank you. This concludes today's question and answer session. I would now like to turn the call back over to George Kurtz for closing remarks.
Okay, thank you, operator. So thank you all for your time today. We appreciate your continued support and look forward to seeing you at our upcoming investor events.
All right, guys. Well, you heard it and you've seen it here first. They dropped the numbers and the numbers came in very well. 27% year-over-year growth. That's really great. They are looking, I think they said 23% for the next year, fiscal 2025. They're expected 23%. I could be wrong on that. But I know it wasn't anything crazy. They're kind of dialing it back a little bit. They're still saying that since the issues that they had in July that we read to you guys about, we read the whole thing about how they had a release, their software update from a cyber firm, CrowdStrike, caused the world's biggest IT blackout. That was in July. They were having some issues with that update. And with that update came a lot of complications. You can see it in the daily. We talked about it. And it popped back up. It came right back up here into that area of resistance. And you can see all that wicking off the top. We had high hopes that that started to curl up. We traded this beautiful trend line here. And we shown after it broke down, every time it tried to get up in that area, the resistance came all the way back from July before the fail. There's still resistance there. And it's very, very clear. And the technical analysis showed we tried to grab just a very small one share just to show you guys for your entertainment how you can take a short like this in this volatile type area after earnings has shown its trade. I tried to do that for you. It didn't get me in since there was such a big spread, but you have to understand that's part of trading. But I'm here for your entertainment, and I hope I did an awesome job for you today. We are going to do more earnings just like this one. So if you can get behind that, if you like to trade or play earnings, or just like to get involved with more like-minded traders, please join us. All you have to do is have an open mind and a golden heart, and our Discord is open to you. We are there on there 24/7, and you can reach out and speak to one of our amazing traders. Everything's for free. Everything I offer is free. This is a free trading community, and I want you to be a part of it. So hit that like, hit that subscribe button where we learn how to be better traders each and every single day. I hope you guys are with me. I hope you enjoyed your time right now. We have plenty to go over, but tomorrow, Wednesday, be there in the Discord because guess what we have? That's right, the long-term investment strategy. It's the first time I've ever released what I do for my long-term. I think most of you do understand, but I'll go over it. I'll go over my profits over the past few years, and I'll tell you exactly why I think it's a great strategy. It might not be right for you, but for my long-term strategy, it's been doing very well. The buy and don't touch is what lazy investors do, but some long-term investors don't like to touch their long-term investing account anyway. Thank you guys so much for being here. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. I'm going to say peace out. You know what I like to do after I hit that outro? I like to say goodbye to anybody that said anything in the comments. So stay tuned. Here we go. All right, if you made it this far, I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you, Jimmy. I appreciate you, brother. You're always here from start until the end. You're awesome, dude. Dan Bob Dan, the greatest moderator alive, was here today with me. B. Stewie, of course, ellipsing poison. Thank you for swinging in. Alberto Gomez, if you're still with me, thank you so much. Vortexan, thank you so much for stopping in and saying hi. Israel Martila, thank you so much for being here with me today. I see lots of love in the chat right now. Thank you guys so much. Wooden Bell, thank you for being here. Zamora swinging in and stopping in and saying hi. YT by MO, thank you so much for stopping in. Lots of new faces today. We hope to see you back very soon. Andre Wait, thank you again for your continued support. And of course, Erica K, stopping in to say hi. I think that hits everybody. We're going to end that poll. Do you think CrowdStrike is a leader in cybersecurity? 76% said yes. 17% said no. 17% said I'm just here for the free food. That poll has been ended, and this show has came into a conclusion. Thank you guys so much for being with me. It's more than I could ever ask for. Have a nice night, guys.